John Cooper's retaliation for that is shut down the projects in Huntsville, right? And you think about the impact that had to what's going on today in Huntsville, right? The fact that we needed that expansion there, and he shut it down. And so, my point on John, Cooper is he's a bully. He does not care about what's in the best interest of the state, and I think that's the wrong style. A government servant should be a servant.
I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
This is Pre-Tection. Yep, Pre-Tection. The everyday skin protection ritual that protects your skin from mosquitoes. Pre-barbecue. Pre-playground. Pre-everything. Pre-every day. Prevention is the best protection. This summer, make sure you have OFF, the #1 dermatologist-recommended repellent brand. SC Johnson, a family company.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth.
I got worms.
I got hairy legs.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
Those days, you used to remember the straight race. You'd bang them on the curb, get them rusty, put them in a rain barrel, get them rusty.
They used to say Abraham Lincoln got the worst press. I said, there's no way he got worse than me.
The proof of the pudding's in the eating.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. How's everybody doing today? And Eddie Bader is back.
I'm back, baby. I'm back.
But we'll get to your Jamaica fun and travels in just a moment, because we got a very serious show with an election here coming up, especially for the city of Montgomery. I guess, next Tuesday? And joining us now is, president of the city council, Charles Jinwright, is in the studio. Hey, Charles.
Good afternoon, Joey.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
I don't think we've ever done an interview before.
We have not.
So let's just
I've listened to you from time to time, but I've never done one.
Oh, no. You've heard the things I say?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Well, I apologize in advance or after the fact, whatever it is. So with the basics, how long have you been on the council?
28 years.
28 years. So I think a good way to start the conversation is what you've seen over the last 28 years, the high points, let's say, or the low points. Like, how has the city of Montgomery changed, do you think, for the better? And then maybe we can do a little for the stuff we need to work on in a second.
Well, I think overall we were growing, and now we're going the other way. We got up to 210,000 in the city, probably in 2010, 2011, and now we're back in the 196 number. So that's a big thing. We got to grow our city again, grow our people. That hurts property values, but we got new homes going up all over town. So that's a good sign that we got new homes going up and new businesses, and then there were new businesses coming to Montgomery too. So the recruitment of businesses continued, and as long as we keep up businesses coming to Montgomery, we're in good shape. And if they live here, my main factor is we put up large incentives for businesses to come to Montgomery, and then a lot of times the people live in other surrounding areas. So that's a big factor.
Well, and that's, I'd imagine, an evergreen topic you always have to tackle. Like, you're always looking for new recruits.
You do, and you're looking for new ones, but the reality of it, we need the people living in Montgomery.
Well, and I've seen in my lifetime the development of downtown. I can remember the old Jubilee days vaguely. I was but a kid, and yet to see the development of downtown, I think, is pretty fantastic. And there have been a lot of changes just in my life. I'm sure you've seen it while you're on the council, but are there certain things that, you know, as long as you've been there, you're like, dadgummit, why can't we get this right? Is there something that's kind of still bothering you about, you know, here in the city?
Well, not, you know, I look at the positive. You know, we turned downtown around. The baseball stadium came in, and it changed people's attitude about downtown Montgomery. So if you get people to see and trust and feel that it's safe to be in a certain area. Downtown Montgomery, before the baseball and the riverfront came in, people were afraid to go downtown. And when we got it opened back up, people would say, well, it's pretty damn nice. Nobody's going to bother you. Well, there was nobody there to bother you. But that created the new conference center and the new Renaissance. The Renaissance came along, and David Bronner put in a ton of money in there when we I had people wanting to put up $60 million to do one. David Bronner said, well, I'll go higher than that. I don't know how high he went, but I guarantee you it's well over $200 million in what we got there in the Renaissance Hotel and Conference Center.
Right, I was just there for that GOP dinner. It's a fantastic
and
site.
we can be proud of those kind of things because we show our best foot there. And then you look around at how many hotels have come in now, the tourism we have, the availability, and then when they go look at Renaissance and all the things around it, it's just a nice place to be and a nice place to have a convention.
So you are running for re-election. Why again? Like, and it's not a personal thing. I ask everybody running, why do this to yourself? You've been doing this for almost 3 decades. Why are you keeping going?
I enjoy it. It's a lot of things we've been able to accomplish and being there, being involved in things, and my knowledge of being there. Serving as mayor for 90 days back in 2009 gave me another little different insight, but being on the side with all the different mayors has given me a different insight. So it's a situation where I like to be involved. As long as I can be involved, I will be involved.
What did you learn in that 90 days? How long you said?
90 days.
90
well,
days.
I actually about 82 days and 13 hours.
In 2009.
They kicked you out of office that quick?
We got somebody else in there quick. I saw enough. I mean, I had annexation for Pike Road. I had an officer got killed. We had a cut in budget. We were going through a down area of the economy, so we had to cut the budget 2% across the board. So we had a lot of activity in that 90 days or 82 days or whatever it was. But anyway,
I didn't remember that.
Todd Strange came over and took over, and I went back to the council seat.
Well, I must have been in Auburn at the time.
Could have been.
When all of that was going on. So as we look at the city today here in 2023, what would you describe are the top 3 issues we're facing that we need to work on?
Well, crime. Crime is an image. A lot of the crime we've got is stuff that's personal, one-on-one. People know each other. But the crime, in my opinion, is related back to our court system at the county level. We've got people that have been on murder, but have murdered somebody, and they've been on bond or whatever for a couple of years. Oh, wow. There's over 200 felonies now, maybe 300 felonies last I checked, 300 felonies in Montgomery County that should be going to court that have not. And if you go back to the girl in Auburn that got killed a few years ago, they created a state law.
Anaya Blanchard, yeah.
That guy that killed her was on a bond from Montgomery for $250,000 for murder.
So how do we fix
So what did he have to lose by killing somebody else?
Right. But is that lack of funding in the court systems?
I'd say probably part of it. Yeah. I mean, you can't now get back. I mean, COVID was the one use of that, but you got to get back and caught up because we got 200 people that have created a murder. They're on the street or they're in jail. They got to go. You got to finalize the situation, and you got to finalize it for the police department. If I'm a police officer and I've done this and I pick the same guy up again, what's that telling me? You know, the system's not working. So that's a real big deal for us. I think we got to do that. Now, your recruiting and your school system, it's working good. We fund whatever we can fund. I told you the other day, you got K-3. When you get kids reading on level at 3rd grade, then you don't have as much trouble up the road in prisons or whatever. Your schools all work better. we've got to get back there. The school board gets off that from time to time, and they don't stay there. We need to be back on that situation, but we're not in charge. We're sitting there to help them when they want to do it. So we're supportive of the school, but we know that's good for the entire economy.
Well, and I noticed, and again, in a second I'll ask more about MPD and recruitment and things like that. But correct me if I'm wrong, the Montgomery Police Department's had a pretty good arrest rate, like especially with things like homicides. Like they very quickly are finding folks.
They're getting them, but they're not going to court and they're not going to jail. And unless you get that system working where they're in jail, and then somebody knows if I commit a crime, I'm going to pay for it. But at this point, a lot of folks are not having to pay for their crime.
What do you think is the reason for the officer shortage? I've heard it's as much as 150 officers short.
Well, I think across the board, we've got a lot of folks that are down on, police officers. You talk about the what defund police. Well, that still carries on in people's mind. And then you got to support your police officers you got. I think our police chief does a good job, but he's got to get these people to stay, because there's a lot of easier jobs out there than the Montgomery Police Department. I mean, they can go to the sheriff's department, they can go to other cities and have near the issues we have in Montgomery. So that's one of our biggest problems.
Yeah, and I know it's a problem nationwide, but I think we should be able to at least get up to that budgeted number, or maybe we just need a different budget.
Could be.
Or it could be incentives.
We fought that. We fought to get up to 490. There's an extra deal to get to 510. There's extra federal money available if you can get up to that level, but we've never been able to get there and stay there. So maybe a little high, but reality of it, we need the officers on the street. People want to see crime down. They want to see speeders taken care of. I mean, those things don't happen when you don't have enough officers working. And then officers can't get to a crime scene or a accident scene on time or another call because there's just not enough officers. Again, folks, we're talking to Charles Jinwright. He is running for re-election for the City Council of Montgomery. And one other issue, and it overlaps with crime, but I hear it anytime I go to a town hall or we start talking local stuff, and maybe there's been a change recently, but what is going on with the panhandling in the city? Well, our state legislature passed a bill saying they can't panhandle in certain areas, but I don't think you got to enforce it. Right. If you don't enforce it, it doesn't matter. So at this point, we got to make sure it gets enforced. Right. Do you think that whose decision is that? The chief, the mayor? The mayor. The mayor has to tell the police chief what he wants done. Right. What's your relationship like with the current mayor? I've been to a few city council meetings lately, and we don't have to go into all the dirty details, so to speak. But well, I get along with the mayor. I mean, I try to, but we, from time to time, we have a difference in opinion, and I don't mind letting him know because I've been there a long time. I can help. I've been through a lot of different situations, so it's something I can really help if you would use me. Now, what did you, because I went viral last week, and not to make it all about me, but did an interview with the captain of the Harriet II, Jim, and that interview picked up by Fox News, and it's just surreal to see Montgomery in the middle of the national news. But for this particular reason, these particular videos, what did you make of this whole, what are they calling it, the riverfront brawl online? Well, race sells, and that's bottom line of all this. You had whites and blacks fighting. I mean, what better communication or media do they want? I mean, they got to fight in Montgomery, Alabama. Oh, it's wonderful news to cover everybody. Everybody wants to hear the bad stuff. And bad news sells, good news don't. Right. And it's frustrating that, because I've been down to the riverfront many a time. I've been on the Harriet II 3 or 4 times, and it's always a good time. I've never seen anything like that. And so for folks that try to not only define Montgomery in a certain way, but say this is representative of the larger struggle in the nation, just seems absurd to me. Well, I asked the chief if he would have had that news conference in Selma, because the people were from Selma. Now, good idea, go back and forth on the river and use our river, and that's the point. But if you're on the river all day long, sipping a cool one, it might get to you after a while, especially in the hot temperature. So when we, talk about, and you're not the only one, I think everybody realizes crime is the number one issue, especially a lot of the, the gunshots and homicides, but also traffic enforcement, like you said. I didn't think a brouhaha down on the riverfront that became national news would be part of that category, but weird times we live in that regard. That's Montgomery, Alabama.
And now, if crime's number one, what would be kind of your 2 and 3 slotted in there, issues facing the city?
Well, I think we've got a major deal with poverty and vacant homes, okay? We need to clean up these blighted areas in town. We've got money coming, but it takes a while to get it done. Last I looked, we got almost 3,000 blighted properties in Montgomery. So if those sitting there, and the city has to keep them cleaned up or whatever, and there are a lot of absentee ownerships about. So absentee ownership of property, rental property. We're even having a deal now with Airbnb, trying to decide how to deal with Airbnb because Airbnb's beginning to get out of hand. It's a great idea and great revenue, but it's getting out of hand because we get some
clients.
We get some
a challenge, yeah.
Yeah, they're renting them out. So, well, like we had one about 3 or 4 months ago where it was rented to a home off of Carter Hill Road, to a family. The family that the girls have a overnight visit there, and then the boys came in. Well, ended up you had a shooting in there, and I think somebody got killed. All over our Airbnb. So you got to watch this stuff, and it's getting bigger and bigger because we have a tremendous tourist population.
Right.
We got about 1 million people that come in here for sports. Then we got another 1 million for other stuff. And EJI has done a great job of bringing people to Montgomery. So those folks are going to find these Airbnbs as an alternative to going to the big hotels. So it's creating a big opportunity here and a big problem for us if we don't watch it.
Well, and I'd imagine that the tourism numbers, I was worried during the COVID era that this was really going to hurt things, but we've seen that bounce back, or a lot of that revenue didn't go away
It didn't go away that much. We've done pretty good. You go look at what's happening across the board, and we need to upgrade our Parks and Rec program because we need more. Well, pickleball, for instance. We need a pickleball program in Montgomery because it's such a big factor nationwide. I mean, probably number one sport out there. But we've got to get that, but we got to get our tennis courts back in line. We got to get all our softball fields. We now are getting AUM soccer fields back in line off the Arbor money, and that money makes for really good situations because you got when soccer comes in, it's girls soccer particularly. All the families come, mama, daddy, grandpa, everybody comes with that stuff. So you fill up every hotel. So you go around the city on any given weekend, you'll find most of our hotels are full.
Yeah, and I've worked 2 summers in between college at Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
And so enjoyed it, kind of saw how some of the inner workings of the place, so to speak, at least as somebody out there working in the sun. But you saying that Parks and Rec brought back the memory, the Camille Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, what happened there?
Well, when you hire inexperienced people, you have a problem. And our people we've got several of our leaders now drinking from a fire hose. I mean, they didn't have enough experience of what was going on. They're getting more experience every day, but they didn't have it when they got there. And so you need experienced people. Parks and Rec's 250 people, 92 parks in the city, Camellia Bowl, all these ball games we got that you need to be done right and send the right message. Where I'm the chairman of the Coliseum Redevelopment Authority.
I was about to ask about that. Yeah.
And we've been talking to Camellia Bowl over the years. They wanted a place to put on a college basketball tournament at the exact same time of the Camellia Bowl, and it'd be on ESPN. We're ready for them now. We're ready, but having a stump of your toe like we did on Camellia Bowl, that could mess us up with ESPN. So far, we've held on to it, and I think we've got a program in place to keep everybody happy at ESPN.
Awesome. Now, outside of that context, what is the future of Garrett Coliseum?
Garrett Coliseum is got a great agricultural future. It's now available for, like I said, the lighting and all. We got locker rooms for any basketball, whatever. The Globetrotters will be here, and they'll be in the new facility. Our rodeos are bigger than ever.
Yep.
Rodeos are on Cowboy Channel. Cowboy Channel loves it because they've got the lighting to take care of it all. One of the jokes I've had from back when I started on it was that when the first rodeo came in, the lights came on and the toilets flushed. And if you got 7,000 people and the toilets don't flush, you got a real problem.
Yeah, you do.
So anyway, we got all that working, and it's been an issue because the building's old, but it's historic. Only 2 of those in the world like it. It's getting back to where. When I finish up with what I'm doing right now, it won't be air conditioning, but it'll be back to its heyday in the 80s when it was really the 70s and 80s when you could use it. You could use it for concerts in the fall and winter. They're looking at right now, a group out of Nashville looking at it for a concert in November. December is kind of full with different things, the Globetrotters being one of them. January is available for some stuff. We got an indoor soccer professional team looking at us now, wanting to put an indoor professional soccer team in there. So it's a lot of stuff going on because now we got a clean face. We look good. We look like we want to be in business.
Right.
Yeah, and I love that venue, and happy to see it updated. And I mean, is there going to be? Because how many venues do we need? It sounds like, just my speculating without knowing much about it, is that you're going to have like Garrett Coliseum that has particular events. Like, it's fine to have this many venues if they're catering to a particular niche, right?
Right. This one's agriculture is a main event, but it has these other all youth sports in there, high school sports, high school wrestling, high school basketball playoffs. Then your rodeos. You have two different rodeos in there, but you spend, I think, 4 nights of, 4 different nights of rodeo, but you spend in 2 weeks or 3 weeks of rodeo. You got the fair that attract a couple 100,000 people out there. They'll start in mid-September. They'll go through October. You got a horse show comes in the last week of September. They have 2,100 horses this year. So when you got 2,100 horses, you probably gonna have 5,000, 6,000 people out there for that. And that rodeo's been there. That horse show's been here probably 25 to 30 years. And it has nowhere else to go like this. Nobody this big. Now we've had Alpha talking about building one themselves, building a new one, but we're so far ahead right now. We'll be good for a long time, and we don't have a big investment. When we get through, at this point, the city's got an investment probably of maybe $2 million.
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
110 acres. It'll accommodate all this. You just go look at it. It's back in business.
Good deal.
Well, we got to hit a break here. You have time for another segment here?
Yeah, I'd be glad to.
And we'll take some calls at 272-9228 if you're already online. Hold your position. This part of the program brought to you by XI Repair. Did you break any electronics when you were down in Jamaica, Eddie?
I came close to wrecking the drone. Ain't gonna lie. Yeah, it almost took a dip in the ocean. But for the most part, because I have a case suggested by Jonathan, I didn't crack anything every time I dropped my phone.
Look, he was looking out for you even when you were on vacation.
Now, maybe I caught a virus over there. I don't know. I'm going to take my phone to Jonathan maybe today or tomorrow and get it checked out.
Well, whether you're like Eddie, that is he's just constantly, all the time, breaking stuff. He's dropping things in the toilet and in the lake. And, as you just described, how he cracks screens like every other week. XI Repair, luckily, can help not only Eddie, but help you. Those cracked screens, they can usually get done in under 30 minutes. They're just that fast, along with things like a battery replacement. Maybe you charge your phone all night and a couple hours into the day, you're already in the red. Well, you don't have to get a new phone. A battery replacement, again, done swiftly and at a great, reasonable rate, can help you out in that regard. Of course, they do beyond just work on smartphones. They work on top-end gaming consoles like a PlayStation 5. That's a $500 device, I think, starting out. So why, if there's a problem with it, send it in the mail to Sony? Why not go to a great local shop? And they're the only place for hundreds of miles with that skill to do that work. They had a guy drive all the way from Maryland. That's right. Yeah, incredible stuff. And of course, they can also work on desktop computers, laptop computers. Maybe you're in the middle of a divorce and your ex-husband tried to delete incriminating text messages. Well, they can recover that there.
Sure can.
At XI Repair, have your attorney contact them. So you can always check them out online at xirepair.com, start a job online and get an immediate quote. Or you can always call them at 777-1234. That's 777-1234. And be sure to tell those fine folks there at XI Repair that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the Afternoon sent you. More News and Views with Charles Jinwright after this break.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
It's the final week of Operation Help and Hope. It's Shelby with Blue Water Broadcasting, and we're live on location at Clark's Heating and Air on Oliver Road. We'll be here until 12:30, and we're collecting your donations for the Chemo Comfort Care Bags. We're asking for donations of fuzzy socks, Boost nutritional drinks, blankets, digital thermometers, hard candy, pill boxes, travel-sized tissues and small hand sanitizers, lip balm, puzzle books, and pens. We're here until 12:30, so feel free to come by and drop off your donation. If you can't make it right now, that's fine. You can drop off any time here during regular business hours or at any of our other sponsor locations that may be closer to you. That's our Operation Help and Hope, benefiting the Cancer Wellness Foundation from Blue Water Broadcasting and Clark's Heating and Air.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Bo Goodson Real Estate School. The kids are going back to school. How about the parents? Our new classes for pre-license begin September 14th, right around the corner. Every Thursday night from 6 to 9 p.m., we teach about contracts, negotiation, agency, pricing a home to sell, how to make money buying investment property, in all over 20 different real estate topics. Start your new career with us. If you've been thinking about getting into the real estate business, here's where you start. Begin now with the best. Interactive classes, no video, open forum. We also offer couples discount and a military discount or first responder discount. How about starting your new career now? Sit in for the first night and see how you like it before you go forward. For all the information, call Bo Goodson at 221-2883, Bo Goodson Real Estate School.
Okay, what was that?
I'm not sure. Electricity. It can be a little scary. Fortunately, the folks at Crosby Electric are experts, providing complete electrical services and keeping River Region homes and businesses safe since 1967.
I hate lightning.
Crosby Electric offers whole house surge protection to protect you and your possessions.
What I hate is being without electricity.
You never have to be. Crosby is an authorized generator dealer, sales, installation, and service.
Okay, our yard is dark.
Crosby does landscaping lighting for beauty and safety, as well as security lighting for all of your property.
Am I crazy, or did that light just flicker?
I'd say both.
And Crosby offers unique technology that pinpoints electrical problems even inside your walls.
Good night, honey.
Good night.
Sleep well tonight with no electrical worries. Visit crosbyelectric.com or call 272-2085. That's 272-2085.
Actor Portrayal, based on a real patient experience.
I'm Mike. I'm a husband, proud father of two, work my butt off 6 days a week, some nights too. When my family or my company needs me to make it happen, I make it happen. But a few months ago, I started having trouble making it happen, in the bedroom. I tried some pills online, but they didn't work. Honestly, I thought about throwing in the towel on my sex life, but I'm not that old. I still want to enjoy intimacy with my wife. Like that poet said, I don't want to just go gently into that good night. So I went to Montgomery Men's Health. I got some lab work and a urologist prescribed me some meds. Wow, it made it happen. I can't say enough good about them. They took care of me, followed up, and made adjustments to make it happen even better. I even learned I had low testosterone, which they were also treating me for. And I have never felt better. If I were you and you're like me, I'd give them a call today at 334-440-3663 or go to montgomerymenshealth.com. If you like most guys, they'll make it happen for you too.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Looking for insurance, or maybe you're just not satisfied with your current carrier? How does quality coverage with local service and competitive rates sound to you? The folks at Stark Agency offer just that. Whether you need insurance for your business, car, home, or life, Stark Agency can help. As an independent insurance agency with over 20 of the top insurance carriers, Stark is sure to find the perfect match for you and your loved ones. Visit their site at starkagency.com or give them a call at 334-263-5535 for a quote today. The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Again, our guest, he is running for re-election, is Charles Jinwright. Charles, Good to have you here on the show. It really is.
Thank you. Enjoying this.
And by the way, I forgot to tell you, if you ever have the urge to hit him in the face, just go ahead. He deserves
ahead and
it.
hit him, okay.
Yeah. This is.
He'll come get it replaced.
Anybody's going to hit me in the face, I would like Mr. Jinwright to, because him and I could work out an out-of-court agreement. I think it just
Wouldn't have to
make
go to
everybody in the
county court.
world incredibly happy.
Good deal.
Well, let's go to Simpler Days. Hey, Simpler Days.
Hey, just wanted to see hey, how are you today, Council President? Just wanted to see if is Twin Oaks Shopping Center in your area?
Twin Oaks.
That's up there at Vaughn in the Boulevard where the TJ Maxx store is.
No, that's not my district. No.
Well, I went up there this weekend with my wife, and while she was in TJ Maxx, I strolled up to the other end of the shopping center just to see what stores were open, and there was an encampment of homeless people.
Yep.
And they had tents, cardboard boxes. They're living there. I mean, that is
it is bad. It's bad, but you've got that problem, and you got all these people that are working on homelessness, and they're not getting these people into a homeless position. I mean, the mayor's got a special committee on homelessness, okay, and then you got the Association of Homeless, and both of them are working on this situation, but we got these people living in boxes or whatever. You go corner of Carmichael and Eastern Boulevard, you got an encampment back in there.
Right.
Some of those hotels back in there are vacant. They're in those hotels. All those places have got those people, and then they end up being panhandlers or whatever. And then there's one back in there now. The museum is in and Shakespeare, and there's one on the property behind the new Dunkin' Donuts. We run them out twice.
Well, this is only going to get worse with the open border policy, and they're going to be putting them on buses and sending them to Montgomery. The Montgomery Mall sits, the county's got one end of it with the schools, the city's got the other end of it with a substation and the fire department. But that whole mall in there, has air conditioning, heating, running water, food court area. Why can't the city and the county, just like they came together on the water park, come together and create, instead of giving this money to all these different organizations, turn that Montgomery Mall into a processing center, a receiving center, and provide services there, and have some place where these homeless people can go, because this is only going to get worse. I mean,
you're exactly right. And there's a lot of people want to do a lot of different things with Montgomery Mall. One of them, first of all, it's the portion that's left is owned by two guys out of Canada, and we had them down here to look at maybe putting Trentham in there and expanding Trentham there. But Trentham went on and went into the executive park there where Blunt was at over the years ago, which was vacant also. So it needed to be revitalized, and Trentham's going to do that with their school there. But doing something at Montgomery Mall is a good idea. I don't know where you want to put the homeless in there next to your schools, what are your best schools you got in the city, not. But the idea is put them somewhere.
Well, have you been in Montgomery Mall lately?
Oh yeah, I've been in there.
Well, you got mold and everything else growing in there now.
Just like,
I mean, that's not good for the students or the people that work for the city.
Well, they've got it segregated, I guess, but you're exactly right. You go in there, it's like a haunted house.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I met with the guys that own it from Canada, had them down here because we let Trentham look at it, see if they wanted to deal with it, and they ended up not doing it. But you go in the food court, the tables and the chairs are right there when they left them 25, 30 years ago. And
merry-go-round still out there?
Huh?
The merry-go-round?
There used to be a merry-go-round out there.
Yeah, it may be still in there. I don't think so.
That's what you ask about?
But the reality,
yeah, it was in the food court.
The stores, retail stores, are still like they got the glass in there, and there's some mannequins in those things. So you can make a good Halloween carnival out of it.
Oh boy!
Well, I appreciate what you're doing, but somebody really needs to get on top of this, because this is only going to get worse. And before long, I mean, when people come to Montgomery and go to a shopping center, they're going to be stepping over the homeless, and I mean, it's just not safe.
Well, that's when you got these two groups that are trying to, that should be addressing it. I question what they're doing.
Me too.
All righty. Have a good day. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Simpler Days. Let's go to Urban. I haven't got time for this next call. Hey, Urban.
What's up,
how you doing?
Yeah, hey, in the interest of disclosure, I am out of District 7, but to what Simpler Days just said, there is no way I could condone, or anybody who lives in the Woodley Park area would condone you turning the Montgomery Mall into some kind of homeless sanctuary. That would be useless.
Yeah, and I think you're right. We want that district to be better, and I think if you put in a youth facility in there, I know there was a talk in the Willow Park area for a new youth center. This could be a good place for it to go.
Are you going to do something for the magnet schools since they're the only thing that's working in the education system?
Well, if they ask us, we'll be glad to help, but we're not in charge of education. Okay, that's strictly school board.
But I mean, but you would be willing to help them.
Oh, sure, we've helped over the years, but we've helped several times over the years when they asked. But a lot of your elementary schools in Montgomery were built by the city years ago and funded through the city.
Mm-hmm.
And Martin Luther King, I don't know, about 5 or 6 of them like that, back in 1999, 2000.
On this thing on using the old, I forget what did they call them in all the neighborhoods, the little, it was around the junior high school level most of them.
The community centers.
Back in my day, I got my best recreational supplies from the community centers.
Well, I think they're good. They did a wonderful job. You know.
Joe will translate that for you.
No, I'm tired of Urbanite. I appreciate the call. Thank you, sir. Tired of too many people on the show admitting to their drug habit. Dadgum, Urbanite. But he's not the only one. Here, let's go quickly to Miss Love. Hey, Miss Love.
Hey, Miss Love.
Hello.
Hey. Mr. Jinwright.
Yes, ma'am.
I
Hey.
didn't find out.
How you doing?
Oh, God is able. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, but I want to ask you about another situation. I saw on YouTube where y'all was, are y'all thinking about maybe helping the employees that have to come to the city council by moving it up just a little so they won't have to be done worked all day, then stay there all night long? Can y'all think about doing something?
Yeah, we did
like
that. We talked about that about a month ago, and it did not go over. We were going to move the meeting up to 3:30, and we didn't do it. We'll probably look at that again in the fall, see if we can move it up, because it needs to be earlier in the day.
Yes, because they work really hard.
Yeah, and it would be much easier on employees and much easier on people, period.
Yeah, and I'll be talking about that hopefully y'all will allow every person who want to speak on camera. If they don't want to, that's fine. But I just feel like it would be very advantageous to y'all and to the public who can't come to the city council meeting to hear what other citizens got to say to hopefully make Montgomery better.
Well, thank you for the input.
Appreciate it, Miss Love. We're on a roll here, so let's keep going. Linda. Hey, Linda, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
Great. You're on with Charles Jinwright.
What I wanted to say is, I am sad. That's happy and sad. I am sad to see that we still have to fight one another. It's sad. No matter who, it's really sad. Because, the man's doing his job. Why would y'all want to fight with the man? He's doing his job. And if we all go back to our history, this is the kicker. We've been called racist by, different groups. But if we go back into our Bible and look into our history, we are black. Even the so-called white race is black. They're just the lighter form of black. They want to separate themselves from the darker blacks because they are lighter. But if they know what their race is,
Linda, what about our conversation here today brought this up in your mind?
Here's what I'm saying. The thing is, we shouldn't be fighting one another.
Right.
I am so glad that justice was served, but I hate the way it had to be served.
Yeah, we all do. That was an embarrassment for the city of Montgomery.
All right. Thank you. Have a great one.
Thank you, Linda. Let's go to Sandy. Hey, Sandy. Sandy? Nobody there? All right. and Sam. Hey, Sam.
What's up, Sam?
Gentlemen, thank you for taking my call. I had a question for Mr. Jinwright.
Yes, sir.
The last time the Mayor Reed was on Joey's show being interviewed, he brought up he was thinking about looking for property somewhere within walking distance of downtown. He's talking about creating another venue, replacing the Coliseum. I was wondering, was any of that was all that just loose talk, or is that actually being looked at?
I think there's a dream there, but you're talking about when you build another facility like the Coliseum, it'll cost you $150 million. The location of it's got to be downtown somewhere, so then you couldn't use that for agricultural events, I don't believe, because it wouldn't fit the same way. So there are two different situations. Right now we've got a Coliseum that the city owns. We've got very little investment in it. We got a great return on investment, and it will give you a lot of return on a lot of things can happen there that they are happening now. But yes, there is a dream to have a large facility that you can have professional basketball in, but we're not in that league yet, and so that's an issue.
I appreciate it, Sam.
Hey, thank y'all.
And I think we got Sandy back. Hey, Sandy.
Hey, I just wanted to thank Mr. Jinwright. I want to thank you for all your years of service to our community. And
thank you.
Me by sight, but I just want you to know that we appreciate you sticking to your job and your plans and helping Montgomery.
Well, thank you so much. This is my home. I was born and raised here, and I want to make sure I get everything done I could possibly do within my abilities.
In the time you have left.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Sandy. And we're pretty much out of time here because, man, we flew through those calls, and there's plenty of things to talk about. But if folks want to support your reelection, I know we got a week here. Are you knocking on any doors, need any donations, or just support in general? How can they do so?
We just need support in general. Remember what I've done. Don't be, my record stands for itself. I've got a lot of things I've done, a lot of things I'm involved in. I mean, two of the big things, the Coliseum, and the second thing is, if you're in East Montgomery, I'm chairman of the Metropolitan Planning Organization, which handles the roads in the Tri-County area, and we've now got a contract working to expand I-85 west and east going to Wall, and we need that expanded because we got so many people living in Pike Road and Auburn. So in the afternoon, we got a real traffic jam out there, so that's some process to be done, and then do away with the wrecks. And we've done a lot already in that area, but those are things that keep us from having a bad situation in the city.
Well, I have to admit to you, to your face, that for the longest time I didn't pay attention to Montgomery at all, let alone the Montgomery politics. As I started to pay attention, I realized, I guess the term you're using through this interview, I was drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah.
And so I just want to echo what Linda said, all your years of service here and working in the community. We need folks like you who know where all I was going to use a Jack Campbell term, where all the bodies are buried, but I don't know about that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charles.
Yeah, thank you.
More news and views in the afternoon after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Picture this. A serene, tranquil resting place surrounded by nature's beauty. A place where memories are cherished and loved ones are forever remembered. We're talking about your final resting place, and it's never too early to start planning for it. Pineview Memorial Gardens in Wetumpka has been family-owned and operated for over 55 years. We understand the importance of pre-need planning. You can make decisions that reflect your personal wishes. You can choose the perfect location, whether it's a serene garden, a peaceful mausoleum, or a place in our cremation wall. Pre-need planning alleviates the burden from your loved ones during a time of grief. By planning ahead, you can secure today's prices, protecting yourself and your family from future cost increases. So why wait? Contact Pineview Memorial Gardens in Wetumpka today. Your final resting place should be a reflection of your unique journey. Take control of your future and make pre-need planning a priority. Pineview Memorial Gardens in Wetumpka, where memories live on.
It's our biggest, fattest, zeroest event ever. Well, that's what it is. The Big Fat Zero event at the all-new Toyota of Montgomery. Buy a new Toyota with zero money down, 0% APR financing, zero payments till next year. What can be better?
Winning the lottery?
Sure, but then you'd have to pay a lot of taxes, pay your family, pay for a lawyer.
I prefer the Big Fat Zero.
Of course! Because when you buy a new Toyota from Toyota of Montgomery, you don't pay a penny down, a penny in interest, and not a penny till 2024. Get to the Big Fat Zero event and at Toyota of Montgomery. Online at toyotamontgomery.com.
$0 down on select new vehicles. 0% APR financing on select new 2023 vehicles with approved credit through dealer preferred lender with $100K financing limit. Maximum payment of $1,000 per month through 2024 plus tax, title, license, and $995 doc fee. May not be combined with some offers. Ends 8/31/2023.
At AFS Foundation and Waterproofing Specialists, we work on a lot of neighborhood homes, and we're proud to share some of what our customers have said about us.
I was having problems with water in my crawl space during heavy rains. I was concerned about mold and the air my family was breathing. I'm so happy I called. The problem was fixed, and I'm not stressed anymore.
AFS can keep your home and family safe. Visit afsrepair.com to book your free inspection. That's afsrepair.com.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Japan's largest automaker announcing a vehicle recall.
Toyota is recalling nearly 170,000 new model Tundra pickup trucks due to a fuel line issue. The company says there's a potential risk of fire if a faulty fuel tube rubs against the vehicle's brake line. Owners of 2022 and 23 Tundra and Tundra hybrids are urged to take their trucks to a dealership immediately for temporary repairs. Toyota says new parts will be available later in the year. Tasha Stevens reporting.
U.S. Steel rejecting a $7.3 billion buyout proposal from rival Cleveland Cliffs, reviewing strategic alternatives after receiving several unsolicited offers. It was a lower open this morning on Wall Street. The market is on edge ahead of this week's report on retail sales, hoping that consumer spending can keep the economy from tanking. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by H&H Carpets, where you will find a complete line of Mohawk carpet with exceptionally clean, smart strand fiber. It's always available and ready to be installed. H&H Carpets across from Walmart on the Atlanta Highway.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. The intense, excessive summertime heat continues for now with more dangerous heat indices. Today's actual high will be near 100, and the heat index may be as high as 114, with spotty, random hit-or-miss storms, especially in the afternoon and evening hours. Low tonight in the upper 70s. Tomorrow, high temperature up to at least 96. The heat index into the 105 danger range or higher. More scattered random storms, but by the middle of the week, temperatures a little bit more reasonable. Low to mid-90s on Wednesday with lower humidity. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Whether you're buying a home or auto or consolidating debt, CB&S Bank's personal loans get you where you need to go. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Live local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
To-dos and views in the afternoon. Well, guess who's back? Eddie Bader is here. Turn that towards you. Like we just got to start manhandling that camera around here.
How's that?
How you doing, man? You look suntan, like sun-kissed.
I'm a little depressed. Post-vacation depression has set in.
Oh,
no more is there a knock at my door at 6:30 with fresh coffee and danishes and fresh fruit.
You're breaking my heart.
Oh, it's horrible. And then, go for a morning swim and a dive and then meet Susanna at breakfast for a lovely made omelet that I'll watch this lady make for me. I mean, all this reality is setting in that I'm not rich. I only can fake it for about a week before I got to get back to work.
Well, and I want to share to folks watching on the live stream. And you can go to YouTube, just search Joey Clark Live. That's the name of the channel now.
Yeah.
Or Joey Clark on Facebook or News Talk's Facebook page or my Twitter.
Twitter too, right?
Formerly Twitter, now at the Joey Clark.
Rumble?
If you go, though, to the live video stream, what we're going to share here is, what Eddie was up to in part in Jamaica, man.
This is great. I heard there are thousands of these all over the island.
All right, so that right there, that looks like that photo of me when I was dressed up like Cowboy Curtis.
Yeah, yep. There are lots of questions about this person at the resort. People were looking for him. There's a couple's resort, and part of it is a little bit on the nudie
But
side.
you took this fruity picture of me, and you made a sticker out of it. You started slapping it all over the place.
I figured if I couldn't get Joey to Jamaica physically, much like you brought that picture in, I brought a picture of Joey to Jamaica to show you what you're missing out on.
You threw one on a lifeguard stand.
Yeah, lifeguard stand.
A palm tree.
Palm tree, yeah. That's when we were hanging on the beach, Joey.
Environmentally friendly. What the heck is that?
Actually, it was a bathroom.
Recycling.
That was a bathroom.
Well, and there's many more. How many of these things did you have, and how many did you stick to walls all over the damn
Let's
place?
just say that people in Jamaica right now think that Joey's running for some kind of office.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You're probably already banned in Jamaica.
Actually, you think if I started running for office here in Montgomery dressed like that, I'd do pretty well?
Right now in this day and time, yes.
What, another clown running for office?
Right.
All right.
Sure.
Well done, Sky Mosley.
I get a few in there.
And before we keep going here, tell us about the Alabama Gazette.
The Alabama Gazette is your hometown conservative newspaper, published right here in beautiful downtown Montgomery. The Alabama Gazette serves Central Alabama proper. And coming October 1st, the Alabama Gazette will be celebrating their 24th year of publishing a real newspaper. The Alabama Gazette has always been pro-life, pro-family, pro-America at a time. It wasn't necessarily cool. The Alabama Gazette is inviting you to join the party. There's going to be a big open house at their offices downtown. We'll be telling you more about that as we go forward. But meantime, please consider advertising with the Alabama Gazette. Support them as they truly support your beliefs. The Alabama Gazette is always published under the banner of God, family, and country. They are most worthy of your support. So please give them a call, 356-6700, and reserve your space now for that big 24th anniversary edition coming up October 1st. 356-6700, the Alabama Gazette.
Appreciate it, Sky. So, folks, you can see there on the live stream, there's the photo on the palm tree.
Yeah, that's when we were on the beach, Joe. We had good time. Man, we had some great drinks right there with you, Joey.
Goodness gracious.
We were actually picking up the show here and there. So it was great, though, man. It was really on the gazebos where I missed you the most. That's where we would like to have had a little more time with Joey.
I've got a story for you.
Sticker.
It's so good to see you.
Yeah.
If I start getting weird calls in the middle of the night, I'm blaming you.
Really?
All right, let's go to Red Top. Hey, Red Top.
Hey, guys.
How you doing, Red Top?
Here's an interesting website, Joey, I came across just studying metabolic processes and all that. It's called ripbody.com. And let me tell you what caught my attention. I've been studying body fat levels, even though I don't have any. I'm just curious about it. And this guy's a body fat expert. He was talking about all the information there's about body fat level, and it can't compare men and women because we're totally different. But they show about 8 groups of pictures, about 10 of each group of different body fat levels. And it's very interesting. You've got to look at it.
It sounds so fascinating. I don't have time for this afternoon. All right? All right, okay. I got a candidate coming in, but I love you, Red Top. Call back later.
Ooh.
I don't have time to go down the rabbit hole.
This will make you feel better. Joey has a Johnny Depp look about him today.
Hey, that's pretty nice.
Take it.
That'll make you feel a little
yeah,
better.
but just change the lighting around, and you're like, who's that Asian guy?
I see it now.
Yeah, it's he's got the little carries it in the cheeks.
brought it up.
Yeah.
This part of the program brought to you by, thanks for the call, Red Top, Montgomery Men's Health. And at Men's Health, they can help you men out if you're feeling run down, tired, listless, even physically or mentally, just run down and tired. Could be you're haunted by past memories of yourself. You remember those days, Eddie, when you could go all day, all night without petering out?
Petering out.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do, Joey.
Yeah.
Getting old sucks, Joey.
If you're also maybe getting weight gain, even though you're working out, you haven't changed your eating habits.
Oh, that's got to really just
your
be
sleep
horrible.
patterns are off.
Yep.
I mean, it could actually be low testosterone,
Could
right?
be. Could be, Joey.
And so Montgomery Men's Health, for only $99 in about an hour, it's a quick blood draw. You can know your numbers.
Right.
It'll be, of course, your testosterone numbers, but you also get a PSA score. It's a great marker for prostate health,
that's
and
right.
less invasive than other procedures.
Sure.
But if you do, in fact, have low testosterone, they have treatments there at Montgomery Men's Health that can truly change your life. Most men after these treatments experience higher energy, better gains at the gym.
Brother.
That's right, brothers. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns. You might even notice an increased sex drive.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
In fact, there's a lot right with it, Eddie. So y'all check out Montgomery Men's Health today. Whether it's low T or other issues unique to men's health, they've got your back. 440-3663 is their number. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com and be sure to tell them, well, you heard about them here on News and Views in the afternoon. Coming up after the top of the hour break, we have Victorrus Felder. He's a candidate to be the next mayor of Montgomery. He's joining us again for his second interview on the program. Y'all stay tuned. More News and Views in the afternoon after this.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Hunter Biden's attorneys pushing to keep part of a plea deal they reached with the prosecutor whose new status as special counsel intensified the tax investigation into the president's son ahead of the 2024 election. Hunter Biden's attorney argued in court documents that an agreement sparing him prosecution on a felony gun charge is still in place. Niger's mutinous soldiers say they will prosecute deposed President Mohamed Bazoum for high treason and undermining state security. Last week, the West African bloc ordered the deployment of a standby force, but it's still unclear when or if it would actually enter Niger. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 9 points, but the Nasdaq is up 104. This is SRN News.
The government is spying on you. No surprise, I know. But did you know the banks are helping them? And did you know that withdrawing your cash from the bank can be very risky? That's right. Let Swiss America educate you about this. Banks are now required to spy on us for the government, and they report any behavior they think is suspicious. You'll be shocked when you read The Secret War on Cash from Swiss America. This new war against cash is really a war against the Constitution, against all freedom-loving Americans. You must read The Secret War on Cash. Get your free copy by calling or texting 800-266-6082. That's 800-266-6082. This war on cash is growing daily, and it also includes all forms of digital money. So please get and read The Secret War on Cash free by calling or texting right now at 800-266-6082. That's 800-266-6082. Message and data rates may apply.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Rich Thomas Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. The intense, excessive summertime heat continues for now with more dangerous heat indices. Today's actual high will be near 100 and the heat index at maybe as high as 114 with spotty, random hit-or-miss storms, especially in the afternoon and evening hours. Low tonight in the upper 70s. Tomorrow, high temperature up to at least 96. The heat index into the 105 danger range or higher. More scattered random storms, but by the middle of the week, temperatures a little bit more reasonable. Low to mid-90s on Wednesday with lower humidity. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At ASE Credit Union, financing your next adventure is easier than ever with rates as low as 5.25%. Apply online or visit your local branch today. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASE.
1819 News.
This Monday is when a federal court will start the process of reviewing the new congressional map proposed by the Alabama State Legislature. 3 judges will be part of the case, the same judges who considered the lawsuit over the current Alabama congressional districts. Those judges determined that the state legislature should redraw the map to allow for 2 districts with majority-minority voters. With the newly redrawn area, Congressional District 7 would go down to 51% voting age minority voters, and Congressional District 2 would expand into parts of Lowndes, Macon, and Russell counties to increase the minority voting base from 32% to 40%. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Brian Dawson here, CEO of 1819 News. I'm also the host of 1819 News, the podcast, and we'd love for you to join us by listening to our weekly show on all the top podcast apps, both in audio and video format. At 1819 News, the podcast, we are in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama. Every week, we're having important conversations with guests from across this great state, all with the goal of equipping Alabamians to be in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama with us. New episodes are released weekly. I hope you'll join us.
An investigation is underway in Birmingham after a murder victim is found at a park on Sunday in the Dolomite community. Police responded to a shots fired call and then found the murder victim inside a vehicle. Family members to that man say that he had been missing since Saturday and they were searching the area when they spotted his vehicle, only to discover that he was shot inside. The family then called 911. In Huntsville, a man suffered gunshot wounds during an apparent robbery on Sunday morning. Authorities say that the man who was shot is the person who was engaging in a home burglary and was shot by the victim. The burglary suspect has been identified as 42-year-old Troy Fletcher. He was taken to a hospital for treatment and will be booked in the Madison County Jail once he's released. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Looking for a new career with flexible hours, competitive pay, generous paid time off, and countless benefits? Then visit us at our job fair for the Riverside Marketplace at Wind Creek, Wetumpka from 2 to 7 p.m. on Tuesdays, August 15th and 22nd, and Thursday, September 7th at the Entertainment Center. Can't make it? No problem. You can also visit our Career Center at Wind Creek, Wetumpka from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. Kickstart your new career today.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Break it up, son. Joke's over here.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. And joining us now, right across the desk from me, second time on the program here, we have Victorrus Felder. Hey, Victorrus, how you doing today?
All right, how's it going?
Doing well. It's good to have Eddie back here, even though I showed you what he did in Jamaica.
You didn't show him all the things I did.
Well, no, I want him to like us.
Oh, good idea there, Joey.
Eddie, I don't know why this guy's my sidekick. But how's it going on the campaign? What have you been hearing from folks out there as you go door to door?
It's going pretty good. Some people recognize me from last time. Some people are noticing me more. Some people want to see me more. I've been told about some neighborhoods that I need to come to. I've been requested to come and speak to a group of people, as the time continues to grow. So I think it's going pretty good.
Good deal. Well, there you go. Is there somebody, as you've been going around meeting folks, that you had never met before, and there's such a character or just something happened where that person just sticks in the mind, like you made a new friend or somebody you'll always remember?
You see that a lot. I think for this go around, there was a guy I met down by South Lawn at the Winn-Dixie. And I was passing out my flyers. He's man, I don't have any money. I ain't got no money, man. Go ahead on about your business. So I said, no, sir, I'm not asking for anything. I'm giving my flyer out. So I gave him my flyer. He looked at it. He kind of leaned over. Hey, let's get out the sun and go talk. So he held me up for a while, and he understood, my message about youth development. And we were giving out different ideas off of each other. So I ended up actually getting a supporter as I was talking with him. But that initial contact with him, yeah, it was real. It was real different.
Now, what is the issue you're hearing back from folks the most? You just talked about youth development. I hope people are all for that. I'm for that. But what's the biggest issue that, you started out with your idea of what you wanted to see the city do? What sort of issues we need to tackle? What are mostly the folks talking about?
Mainly crime. Trash is picking up as far as the cleanliness of the city. A lot of people are complaining about that in a lot of different areas. So those are the top two concerns. I talked with another guy. He was saying that, I asked outside of crime what are other issues, and he mentioned infrastructure and infrastructure downtown and different roads to where you have your main roads attracting to downtown area, or that's not attractive to the downtown area. And a lot of people visit that area downtown. So that was something that he brought up. Education was something else that was brought up by some voters when I was out talking and knocking on doors, as the system is not a city school system, but we still have to find ways to make things work to make sure that our kids have the best future possible.
What are some ways that the city and a mayor in particular can supplement what the county system is doing, given different jurisdictions, but there are ways you can work together, right?
I think collaborate with the superintendent, with the school board. You try to create programs from the budget if you have it. If not, you work with different businesses within the community to see how they can help. So I think there are a lot of different areas that we can come together and collectively help to make sure that we're giving our kids the best, future possible.
Now, we're talking a little bit off the microphones here, off air, that it was surreal to see Montgomery in the national news, and for the reasons, those videos. And it's good to know Damian Pickett is all right. And actually, I think, my opinion, he got jumped by the rest because he was whooping the first guy pretty well. So anyway, but what is your reaction to just what we saw, not only literally on the riverfront, but then this blowing up all over international news even?
It's unfortunate that it happened, and with me, my thing is prioritizing and security. So if the proper security was in place, maybe that could have been prevented. We wouldn't have the situation that we have now. That's why I stress so much about security. So if this was something that was ongoing and it was reported and we had enough officers to be around, especially with an event taking place already in that area, that could have been prevented. So again, it's unfortunate that was an action, that was a reaction. But I feel as though we need to focus on uniting now. We have a lot of things taking place. We have a lot of people that want to come and tour and see the location, and people are making money off it. So, it's a celebration on one end. And now it's like, okay, where do we go from here? Because are all that were involved from Montgomery. So do you want Montgomery to, it's like people are trying to stall the trend to where this is going to be a great national moment for one side, but it can't be one-sided in the issue to where that situation took place. And we don't want to get into anything racial because we've grown so much as a city, knowing the dark past that we have, and how we've grown to elect the first black mayor as black, white, Latino, Asian. So we don't want to sit back from it. I think we need to unite, find a way to grow from it, and move Montgomery forward.
Hear, hear. Now, I kind of want to go deeper into this issue of crime, but also youth development, because here's where I'm coming from. From doing this for now, over a decade, as a producer just watching, you see a lot of crime stories, and it's always shocking. It shouldn't be at this point, but it's always shocking. It's always heartbreaking when you see somebody was shot overnight on Saturday night, and you see, oh, they probably knew each other. Then you see the breakdown, and it's a 15-year-old kid. It's a 16-year-old kid. How does that kid get there? Because I can't imagine ever doing something like that myself at that age. But I did have certain blessings, certain privileges in life with my folks, with my parents. What happens with a kid to where they get to that mindset where they would commit crimes like that?
It's no deterrent. And that's an issue, or that's a reason that a lot of us stress community centers. I know that's a reason that I stress community centers or the Boys and Girls Club, somewhere that these kids can go to not be actively involved in the streets. So if I don't have anything to do, for instance, I was in Ridgecrest in 2019. So I saw some young kids out from the age 12 to 15. Hey, what are you all out here doing? What's going on? Well, we're not doing anything. We just hanging out. So I'm like, okay, so throughout the summer, y'all haven't did anything. You have a community center like maybe 5 minutes up the road, which is not open. But all summer long, all the kids do are out playing and get into whatever it is that they can get into. So if you don't have anyone around guiding you and directing you, and you don't have a positive alternative, then you are more prone to go and get in trouble.
Right. So people just, where does that deterrent come from? Is it the parent at the home, or is it a community leader, or a friend, all of the above sort of thing? Where my mind goes is a kid, especially a teenage boy, a teenage man, needs a sort of direction, like you're saying, more than anybody else in this world.
Mentors. If the parent is, some parents may have more than one child. Some parents may feel as though I can't deal with this particular child because I have 2 or 3 more to look after, or I have to go to work and work 2 jobs to provide. So there's no one there filling that void to direct this child in a more positive way. So a lot of times these kids are raising themselves, or the streets are raising them. So if you go and start hanging with someone who's been led in the wrong direction themselves, then you're going to start doing the things that they do. So again, that lack of guidance that they don't have caused them to go out and get into trouble. So I've seen it growing up where I grew up. And my parent, again, hey, you're going to play sports. You're going to continue to do something to make sure that you don't get in trouble. She put me in private school. I played soccer, basketball, baseball. It was always something for me to do. So she made sure I wouldn't be hanging out getting in trouble. And when we moved to a more diverse community, it was more so about, okay, I'm around kids that are talking about going to college now. As to some graduated high school where I was, some may not have even went to junior high. So it was a different environment, and it's a different mindset about where you grew up and the people that you're around.
Right, and I guess it's actually what I wrote about this week, kind of in reaction to the riverfront. It wasn't really the reaction to the riverfront. It was more Jason who called last week. Because I was saying, all politics is now national, sadly. Like, it would be great if we had just Montgomery narratives, so to speak. And we do have our lives here that we can talk about, but everybody's sort of swimming in the waters of national politics and all the partisan stuff that comes with that and everything else that comes with that. And, I think Jason was taking me to task for saying I'm being a little too fatalistic. Like, woe is me, there's nothing we can do to change it. I'm like, no. Well, you can change it. I do get tired of this sort of idea that people, we either don't have the right infrastructure, we don't have enough, the time isn't ripe, whatever it is. I always feel like at the end of the day, the way it gets right is an individual, and doesn't take that many people. It's the whole Sodom and Gomorrah with Abraham bargaining with God. Can we save the city if we find 50? What about 40? What if I find 10 guys? Now, the big takeaway to me is that 10 good men can save a city if they're forthright. And I get frustrated. Sometimes, to me, these deep solutions, like raising a kid, giving a kid, say, a role model, is not something that can necessarily be done by politics or election.
That's when you reach out to your organizations. So the city can form a relationship or have someone in place to where a community development officer.
Right.
And that's someone who can work directly with people that are in the community to make sure that we can have someone that is making sure the city is on board with what is taking place. So if any type of resources that need to be provided needs to be, then we can do that. But to not have anyone in place and to have the crime prevention team, which is, I think the name needs to be changed from crime prevention because not much is being prevented. Something, I wouldn't say similar, but someone in that department with people that can go around and someone that can come back and relay the information as to what's going on and what's needed.
Just more open lines of communication,
Yes.
I think. And honestly, I think I saw, State Senator Hatcher. He was on CNN over the weekend. And that was his message, that he hopes after what happened last week, we come out of it with hope and healing, and that we need to have a sort of a positive outlook, that if we communicate more with one another, everybody, you're going to have better outcomes for your city. And we don't have to do this in the national news media either. Again, we're talking to Victorrus Felder, candidate to be the next mayor of Montgomery. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. We had to hit a quick break, but when we come back, I want to bring up some issues we haven't touched on before, like Maxwell Air Force Base, or maybe how can the city use more of we have a bunch of universities here in the city. Questions like that, ideas like that. More of Victorrus Felder here in a moment, folks. But first, this part of the program brought to you by New Look Decorating Center. And they're at New Look Decorating Center. Brett Lanham and his team, they can help you with any sort of paint or stain supply project. It could be you're repainting the bedroom. It's just a quick weekend do-it-yourself project. They can give you tips and tricks so you do that the right way the first time. Or maybe you're looking to contract out a job. Say you're painting the whole exterior of your home. Well, you don't want to do that yourself. And here's the great news at New Look Decorating Center. They know all the painters in town. So just stop by there and ask them, hey, who do you recommend for this particular type of job? It's easy working with Brett Lanham, the manager. He's very passionate about what he does. Also, Jordan, a paint specialist. And if you're interested in wallpapers and fabrics, you got to go see Katie. Katie is the wallpaper and fabrics specialist there at New Look Decorating Center. A 40-year local business. They're a true institution here, folks. So check them out today. You can always call them at 271-0007 or go to newlookdecoratingcenter.com. But I really encourage you to stop by that showroom. Show up in person. 6237 Atlanta Highway, right here in Montgomery, where Bell Road dead ends to Atlanta Highway. You'll see it there in all its glory. Benjamin Moore's New Look Decorating Center. And be sure to tell them, you heard about them here on News and Views in the afternoon. We'll be right back after this.
Coming or going. But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
It's our biggest, fattest, zeroest event ever. Well, that's what it is. The Big Fat Zero event at the all-new Toyota of Montgomery. Buy a new Toyota with zero money down, 0% APR financing, zero payments till next year. What can be better?
Winning the lottery?
Sure, but then you'd have to pay a lot of taxes, pay your family, pay for a lawyer.
I prefer the Big Fat Zero.
Of course! Because when you buy a new Toyota from Toyota of Montgomery, you don't pay a penny down, a penny in interest, and not a penny till 2024. Get to the Big Fat Zero event and at Toyota of Montgomery. Online at toyotamontgomery.com.
$0 down on select new vehicles. 0% APR financing on select new 2023 vehicles with approved credit through dealer preferred lender with $100K financing limit. Maximum payment of $1,000 per month through 2024 plus tax, title, license, and $995 doc fee. May not be combined with some offers. Ends 8/31/2023.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco. president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
I'm Cam Marston. My radio show and podcast called What's Working with Cam Marston focuses on the workplace, workforce, and marketplace trends shaping Alabama business. My guests tell their stories and discuss their business expertise in such a way that you and I can learn from them and apply it to our own world. Listen to What's Working with Cam Marston each Saturday at noon right here on News Talk 93.1.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
The River Region's News Talk station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader is back in the saddle.
That's right.
He sounds so excited about it, folks. And we've been talking to Victorrus Felder. He is a candidate to be the next mayor of the great city of Montgomery. And where we left off, Victorrus, is, well, let's first talk about how important is Maxwell Air Force Base to this city, that relationship between us and the military base there.
It's very important. You have to look at how many people actually come here, the significance of the Air Force Base, and also the money that it helps bring having those people here. The education part was a disappointment for a lot of those individuals that are stationed here, because education is something that was key to the development of their children. And with them being able to attend different schools outside of Montgomery now, that kind of hurt. So if we did lose it, we're going to lose a lot of dollars.
Right. Well, we've had a lot. What was that? Selma lost a big military installation, and you see the effects.
Right. You see it literally. You saw the effects almost immediately.
Now, one thing I've always thought, and I know there are some programs and some crossover, but I mean, you've got your private universities like Faulkner and Huntington. You've got ASU, Alabama State. You've got AUM. Is there more the city could do, especially when we're talking about our conversation about young folks? Got my mind on this. Is there a way to use other young adults or young people to sort of, and the resources of these universities to really look out for people? Have you heard any ideas like this or seen anything like this going on?
I haven't. So far, all I've seen with, I just saw where the Alabama A&M University is doing a dual enrollment. And that's helping, the schools in the Huntsville City school system to go ahead and start getting college credits. So they're preparing their kids for a better future. I think that's something that we need to do, collaborate more with AUM, like you said, Faulkner, Alabama State University, to see if that's something that we can implement. But again, if they're a city school system and we're on this public school system or county, how can we make it happen? So these are just different ways that we can try to reach out, collectively come together, and make sure we're doing what's best for our kids' future. Now, as far as organizations, I know we have fraternities and sororities that are on these college campuses, and what their actual involvement is as far as pertaining to helping outside of that, I think it does fall in the line of giving back and helping. Now, are they doing it? I don't know. I would have to reach out to some of the presidents of these chapters to find out what more can they do.
Yeah, and it's well, I'd imagine a lot of this, as I keep coming back to, is not literally what you're doing at a city council meeting. That's a big part of it, but it's a lot of those behind the scenes relationships and conversations, and when a problem arises, oh, I know that person, that idea comes up. But how important, speaking of non-municipal entities, but help the city a lot, how important is the nonprofit sector here in the city of Montgomery?
Very important. I have an advisor now that's telling me, how important it is to connect not only within Montgomery, but outside of Montgomery. And a lot of these nonprofit organizations are waiting on people to reach out to them to help. So there are a lot of different areas to where they can help. Some of them may already be in a situation to where they have too much going on or they're overloaded, and there may be other means that we need to find out how to help. But as far as I was told, a lot of them with proper resources, with the proper financial help, it wouldn't be a problem utilizing them more.
Right. And 272-9228, I was waiting on that phone call here, but I think we're getting an off-air show. This happens from time to time, Victorrus. But for folks who haven't heard our first interview, let's go back over, why do this? Where are you at in life where you're like, I have to take this step to put myself out there to run for mayor? And you're running against the first black mayor of Montgomery. There are a lot of people that love Stephen Reed, so I know you might get a little bit of flack for, challenging him. So, why do this?
I don't think it's I know it's not a care, in my opinion, to a certain demographic. Even though he's black, we're losing a lot of black lives, and he hasn't shown the concern of a certain demographic, because I don't feel as though they're a voting base. They're not anything that he can build off of or thrive from as far as boosting his political position. So I saw too many lives lost. I saw where he was going to Washington, D.C. instead of being in communities and talking with people in these areas to where at least show some cause of concern. He's not committing a crime. He's not involved in having any of that stuff done, but you are the leader of the city. You have people that look like you that are dying and hurting in these streets, and you haven't shown your face not one time. But your concern is outside of the city. So I didn't feel as though that was the proper leadership that we need. We need someone who's going to actually show up and care. I'm not saying just be over here with the blacks. Be everywhere. Be a leader for everyone. But if you see what's happening to the city, and this is a black eye for the city of Montgomery, this is something that is going to scare businesses away, scare other people who want to visit away, then we have to address it. It took too long for it to be addressed. We had the deadliest year on record in the city of Montgomery, a down year after that one. Now we're spiraling back up with the murder rate to possibly break the year of 2021 murder records. So there's no cause for concern. There's no plan of action that I see to where we're really trying to deter and decrease crime. So I sat back and I evaluated, and I thought, well, what if this guy ran? Or if this person ran, I would support them if they reached out. I even tried to get on I think there was a position for crime prevention or something. I was willing to take a $30,000 pay cut to implement some of my ideas to see if we can help the city grow. I was denied. I was told I wasn't qualified. Now all of the qualifications on the application, I felt like I met, but I was willing to risk and take a $30,000 pay cut to help the city grow.
What, wrong fraternity or something?
I don't know. I'm not even part of the fraternity, so
if you're willing to take that kind of pay cut, I mean, to me, that just shows you're willing to do anything to help the community.
Yes.
And to say you're not qualified, that kind of ticks me off just a little bit there.
Well, and when I just hearing that answer, there's a little bit of frustration there that you're seeing this stuff and nobody's talking about it. At least not in a certain way. Well, and I get frustrated this way because, I'm not running for mayor. It's not my job to necessarily try to lay out the case of what I would do better personally. But I do see and hear from folks about the same problems and across the board. Everybody I've brought in here, running for city council, running for mayor, just other folks that are around town say crime is the number one issue. And yet I've seen certain, say, political operatives essentially claim when I bring up crime, that's just a dog whistle.
Oh, yeah. I've heard some people blow. We was at a forum, and I brought up crime again because I'm showing how everything centers around crime. I heard someone blow. I look around the room when I speak, when I'm mentioning crime and the amount of murders, it's like it's an uneasy feeling like, why would you bring this up? And no, because I'm not going to bite my tongue about it. It's something I've been outspoken for years The past 3 years, I gave him maybe like 6 months to a year. Okay, let's give him time to, get better acclimated into the situation, to get his staff on board. I was a part of the Public Safety Committee for a few times. I stopped getting emails and invites to come to the Public Safety Committee. So there were different things taking place. So I wanted to be fair about giving him a chance to get his team in, get his staff in. But as time progressed and Darrell Bailey was speaking out about crime, we had different news media speaking out about crime, and we were on the verge of having a deadly year, and nothing was said about him, as if none of this stuff is taking place or you don't care to speak on it. So that kind of, again, frustrated me. It still frustrates me to see a lot of our leaders, especially our black leaders, avoid or overlook and not address the problem that we're having with the murders in the city.
Well, and I could see, because, we've been doing talk radio for how many years, Eddie? And I said 10 or 12. It feels sometimes like 20 or 30 years at the moment. But, I can think of situations where somebody might bring up crime and do so in an incredibly unfair way. Mm-hmm. But that's not what I'm hearing from you. But what I'm trying to entertain is why, as you said, like you heard some folks blow, like you heard some folks just kind of push back and grumble and whatnot. Where do you think that's coming from? Because I could see the instance of, all right, somebody's just being unfair, bringing up crime stats. That's not what you're doing. So when you try to just broach a topic, just basic way of bringing up the topic, why do you think you get this reaction from folks?
I think they bought into the mentality of where it's happening everywhere, there's nothing we can do. Right. Let's move on from it. But I've seen research where it's been decreased and something has been done about it, and that's why I speak out as I do. And again, it can have a certain liking to a person. Again, with the history behind it, the first black mayor, a lot of people may think this guy should be given another chance. Well, I can't sit back and give another chance for over 250 murders. For it to be over 500 murders within an 8-year process of him being in office. So I don't want to sit back and think what if, or if I would have. I don't want that on my mind. I want to make sure that I get in here, I get into the fight, I give it all that I have, and I'm giving people an option. Everyone is not satisfied with the job that he's doing. Right. That's why I'm in the race now. That's why my name is being spoken about. I have supporters. I think they're starting to catch a lot of flack because they're supporting me and they've been told, hey, you should come over on this side, or they've been getting semi-threats to stop posting so much about me. And that's kind of, it's disheartening. Yeah. To where blacks are coming at other blacks, or some whites may be coming at some blacks, or you have blacks going at some whites. So it's like people are trying to make you pick a side. It's become racial now. Right. So if you black, you automatically have to go over here. If you're white, then it seems like you have to vote over here. But what about the platform of the person? Who's going to be the best leader for the city of Montgomery?
Well, and if somebody really, honestly, in my everyday life, people don't really push me on that sort of thing, but I know what you're talking about, and I've seen it happen in real time, and I think it's sad. I think sometimes the partisan politics, they'll use certain issues as a wedge. But yeah, it's frustrating to see how this gets boiled down to you must pick a team, pick a side. Just a general question here. Where do you think this is maybe too general, the race relations are here in the city of Montgomery? And I'm thinking about it because of what happened, last week. And you see a lot of folks give their interpretation, and I appreciate it. For instance, State Senator Hatcher saying there's no unusual tension here. But when you look at the city of Montgomery, is it just gets heightened during politics? My general experience is people tend to get along in this city.
That's it. I have a friend of mine I was on the CERT team with. And, he's white. He inboxed me, hey, you can't be drunk and putting your hands on people. It's pretty much what you get. And he has an attitude of, I know his tendencies. So it was nothing racial as he saw it. You start something, it got finished. So I don't think it's racial tension within Montgomery. It's something that happens. Some people felt like, hey, it was time for something like this to take place. Okay, we're fighting back. We're not laying down anymore. So there's different reasons behind it. I've been reading comments on social media. A lot of whites agree with what happened. Oh, yeah. A lot of them don't like the part about the chair. But as far as it happening, an action and reaction and the consequences behind it, there's not any racial tension. I think everyone understands what happened, why it happened, and, just an unfortunate situation that took place.
Let's go to Bill before we have to hit a break and let you go. Your Victorrus. Hey, Bill, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right.
Good. I just had a quick question. I listen from time to time. You mentioned crime prevention, and I'm just curious, how do you propose to prevent crime, and maybe what role do you see local churches having in crime prevention, or maybe the better question there would be, do you think that the local churches want to have a role in crime prevention?
Increasing the police force. Right now we're down, some say 150, some say 200 police officers. I've done research from a study called PSSA, a program called PSSA, and they're showing you a proven record of how to decrease crime within your city. So they have like this tour that they're going on to different cities, major cities, implementing this process of decreasing crime. One of the top things that I saw was the pay raise. So I know we saw officer increase with pay raise here in Montgomery, but I'm talking about a major pay increase where we focus on retention and recruiting. So once you increase your police force, you patrol more, you're able to be in different areas. You can also collaborate with your sheriff's department. You can do joint operations with them. You can also use your state troopers to where it patrol in certain areas that we have racing and high speed chases, and there's so much going on with people speeding in the city of Montgomery.
It's crazy.
I drive all the time. It scares me to death.
Yeah, so these are different areas that that can be addressed easily, but again, you have to have the right leadership in place that actually takes the time to look into it and wants to change it.
Well, and this is just me talking. The response of lower your expectations is not. I'm not buying that.
No.
No. We need to up our expectations, if anything.
Yes.
So, just one last thought, and then I'll be done. You know, what do you think we can do to connect with people? You know, to get people to where they don't actually want to commit crime. You know, how can we change the heart of the criminal? I guess to actually really prevent crime, because. You know, I'm a bivocational pastor, and I used to live the criminal life, and yes, we need more law enforcement officers to enforce the law, but having them, it's the change of heart of a criminal to not want to commit crime anymore and actually live responsibly. What do you see happen in our community along that line?
You have to go where the crimes are taking place. You have to go to the people that are committing the crimes. You have to find you a area where you have high volumes of crime, and you target that area where there is with the police. And I'm not talking about any roadblocks. We're talking about heavily patrolled. You have the organizations come in. You have different people wanting to go out and find out what the problem is. A lot of times you will have people in the community that wants to help, and they're kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or there's always somebody who has some type of control, or a few people that may have some type of control. There's always going to be a leader, and you have to find that leader, and whether they want to help or be a problem, those situations are going to be there, but you want to find the ones that's going to be a help and get into the minds of the younger ones that are doing the crime. So I think a more collective effort of bringing in more resources, whether it be church organizations, the nonprofits, more patrolling from police, but more engagement also with the people from the police department and the community. So these two have to engage with each other. I want to bring up, like, I seen a flag football game take place, but it was outside of the community. I would rather the flag football game be taking place within the community. So, young kids can, have that feeling like when I was growing up, to where we didn't really run from the police. We would go to the police cars. We kind of knew some of the officers' name. Now it's just patrolling with some and keep walking. But I think it would be different assignments that you give the officers out there to make sure that they're closing that gap of untrust.
Well, Bill, I appreciate the call, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
And let's quickly, this will be the last call here, go to AJ. Hey, AJ.
Brother, how you doing, man?
Great. You're on with Victorrus.
Yeah, I still listen to you. Mr. Victor.
Yes, sir.
First of all, this ain't the first time I've heard you speak. You definitely hit the nail on the head. Let me tell you something. When I told on your counter station, Joey, about 8 to 9 months ago, he had 3 police on his station, right? And when he got hired, I don't know, people act like they forget. when he got hired, he was on WSFA on the news, right? He said he was going to, and I called in, first of all, and told the chief of police, we support you. A lot of people support you out there, chief, and the police department, okay? And he said he was going to bring the feds in. And I told my wife, and I told all my friends, the whole two I got, if he brings those feds in, him and the mayor would look like a hero, because I guarantee you, you don't have black folks just running around randomly every other day killing each other. Half of that stuff is over drug territory. And anybody that's got any freaking common sense knows that. And what I asked him, I said, see, if you bring those feds in, you and the mayor look like a hero. Now, what I asked was about 2 weeks ago, Joey, and I asked you, I said, how in the hell does little bitty Greenville bust 40 drug dealers? Little bitty Greenville, they took 40 drug dealers off the street, and this was within the last month. And the guy that was on TV, I think he was the head sheriff or deputy, he said, yeah, it took us a year, but we got 40 of them. We got 25 in handcuffs, and the other 15 we're going to get. Now, look how small that the police department is, all right? Now, let's be real, okay? I'm telling you right now, one of the reasons is because either Montgomery ain't got no drug dealers, they must not have no drug dealers in Montgomery, or people who don't want to work for the mayor and the chief of police, that's why they're down 150. All right? And I know somebody personally who was on that force 10 years in them streets. All right? Personally. And I'm telling you, the reason they're not coming here is because they don't want to work for that mayor and that chief that you picked up from New Orleans, 30-year retirement, just like you did Finley from Atlanta with 30 years of experience. And when I was in the Army, we called them garrison soldiers. Their boots were stitched shine. They had a chest full of medals, but they couldn't read a freaking map. All right? And he's not going to fire somebody, rumor mill is who you're related to. All right? You can't bring in this 21st century crap. All right? And Brother Felder, you got to look at this. When you pay a conflict resolution guru, who I ain't seen do a damn thing yet since you hired him a year ago, and he's making anywhere between $150,000 to $250,000 a year, you show me one thing that guy has done with conflict resolution with all these murders going on. I got my cousins from St. Louis calling me, Joy. St. Louis is Chicago's cousin, asking about the riverfront brawl.
Right.
Now, I'm going to tell you this. They're going to try to make it a racial issue with that. I'm just telling you, and the politicians are the damn worst. They are the worst with doing that. Because, see, that's what they pull out. And guess what? You know who's loving that? Somebody who was shaking in the boots about this election. He's loving that because it takes the attention of what's really going on in this city. And for the most part, Joey, like you, Mr. Felder said, it ain't a gigantic race issue in Montgomery. Right. But I'm going to tell you right now, just like they're doing now, okay, the day after that happened, it was 2 shots. But no, you didn't get no coverage on that. The day after that so-called brawl happened, it was 2 people shot. You didn't hear one freaking word. Not one. But I like what you're saying, and I'm telling you, man, 4 more years of that, and when you got 6 to 8 cops circling your house 24/7, you're damn right you ain't worried about crime. Your family is protecting your daddy down the street. You got cops circling your house 24/7. So no, it ain't no big deal, but now it's a big deal. The commercial he's showing right now talking about crime, I said, do you see that, baby? Talking to the wife. I said, that was dated in 2021, but I guarantee you people ain't paying attention. That's not a fresh commercial. He put that in the 2021. Now this election time, the last year, now he's hot on it. No, you should have been hot on it from day one, brother.
Well, I appreciate the call, AJ. I got to run, man.
Have a good one.
You too, AJ.
Well, and I give you the floor here to, final statements here, why folks should support you. Also, anything AJ said there and that great call.
I mean, he said a lot. When you look at what he's running off, far as the main topic is the $1.7 billion and the 2,000 jobs that was brought, which was not brought solely by him. It was a state effort. It was a county effort. There was a collective group of agencies that helped bring those jobs here. When you take that away, what has he done? What economic development have you seen within the communities? Look at the safety issues that we're having. So we're having too many problems of an integrity and a line issue. And I think it's time to vote for someone with better leadership qualities, better integrity, and bring more data integrity to the seat of mayor. I'm an only candidate with 15 years of law enforcement experience in public safety. I'm a father of 4, married. I've been in Montgomery 38 years of my 40 years of living. I've been dealing with this plan, or creating a plan for the past 3 or 4 years to add on the plan that I had in 2019. And I'm the best candidate because I actually care. I want to see the city safe. I have a plan to make sure we're safe. I have a plan to make sure that business owners thrive. And I have a plan to make sure that our kids will get the best education possible. So on August 22nd, vote for Felder. Felder for mayor.
Well, Victorrus, it's great seeing you, man, and great talking with you, and best of luck. And feel free if it's going to be crowded on the show here on Monday, Tuesday, but call in, especially on election day or the day before, just to get the word out again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate your time and appreciate you doing this. Like I said, I'm sure you've gotten some flack for it, but it sounds like you know where you stand.
Yes, sir.
And so we got to hit this break. More news and views in just a moment. We should have Michael Cohen here on the other side of this break.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Next contestant.
Honey, you look confused. What's wrong?
I'm having a hard time remembering to take my medications like I'm supposed to. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to worry you.
I'm glad you told me, because I heard that Adams Drugs has a medicine on time service that will package your monthly medications and make them easier to manage. Our neighbors, Bill and Leslie, mentioned the other day that they use Adams and how they have made it so easy for them to manage their medications.
Do you think we can call Adams Drugs or go by there and see if they can help me? I don't want to get to the point where you have to put me into an assisted living home.
Why don't you get your medications together right now, and let's go down to Adams and talk to the pharmacist.
How much does the medicine on time service cost?
I asked Bill that same question, and he told me it's a free service for Adams customers.
Free? Wow, I'm feeling really good about this already. Let me grab my meds list.
Call Adams Drugs Medicine on time for your pharmacist consultation. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for more information on our Medicine on Time packaging service.
Actor portrayal, based on a real patient experience.
I'm Mike. I'm a husband, proud father of 2, work my butt off 6 days a week, some nights too. When my family or my company needs me to make it happen, I make it happen. But a few months ago, I started having trouble making it happen, in the bedroom. I tried some pills online, but they didn't work. Honestly, I thought about throwing in the towel on my sex life, but I'm not that old. I still want to enjoy intimacy with my wife. Like that poet said, I don't want to just go gently into that good night. So I went to Montgomery Men's Health. I got some lab work and a urologist prescribed me some meds. Wow, it made it happen. I can't say enough good about them. They took care of me, followed up, and made adjustments to make it happen even better. I even learned I had low testosterone, which they were also treating me for. And I have never felt better. If I were you and you're like me, I'd give them a call today at 334-440-3663 or go to montgomerymenshealth.com. If you like most guys, they'll make it happen for you too.
Is your cell phone or iPad cracked, broken, or not working right? Don't let the big carrier stores sucker you into a new $1,100 device. Let XI Repair fix your device today. XI Repair fixes cell phones, computers, laptops, iPads, game consoles, drones, and more. Their certified technicians fix hundreds of devices every day. When your device needs care, call XI Repair, 334-777-1234, or Google XI Repair.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. The intense, excessive summertime heat continues for now with more dangerous heat indices. Today's actual high will be near 100, and the heat index may be as high as 114, with spotty, random hit-or-miss storms, especially in the afternoon and evening hours. Low tonight in the upper 70s. Tomorrow, high temperature up to at least 96.
The heat index into the 105 danger range or higher. More scattered random storms, but by the middle of the week, temperatures a little bit more reasonable. Low to mid 90s on Wednesday with lower humidity. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. For work at your hunting camp or a job site, you need a utility vehicle you can depend on. The Kubota Sidekick from Capital Tractor, powered to haul and top speeds of 40 miles per hour. Kubota and Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
During Prattville Carpet's summer sale, you can get Mohawk waterproof flooring, regularly priced at $11 per foot installed, right now priced at $7 per foot installed. That's huge summer savings. And get interest-free financing for up to 12 months with approved credit. Call 285-8117 or visit PrattvilleCarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader, my sidekick, is here.
Hey, Joey.
How you doing?
Choking on a Toblerone.
Yeah, you've gotten too skinny. You're trying to get fat again, right?
Man, I thought I had lost a little weight, no doubt, but after the 7 days there at that place, yeah, I'm.
You know my favorite Norm Macdonald fat joke?
Which one?
Like, I went to this new doctor. I might need a new doctor. I went to the doctor the other day. He said, open your mouth and say oink. Let's go to Michael Cohen's of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael.
Hey, how are you?
Doing good, Michael. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great.
Well, how's it?
Jokes, huh?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm more talking about me. I've been eating like a pig lately.
It's like you go to the doctor and he says, no more fatty food. And you're like, you mean like fried foods? He says, no, fatty, no more food.
Anyway, how's it going with Cohen's there today, Michael?
Doing great. So I'm at the Nationwide Primetime Show. They've talked to us about the new Samsung TVs coming out. They're going to actually have up to 110-inch television. So that's going to be huge.
110 inches, wow.
Yeah.
So the light, it's getting bigger, and I'd imagine the picture and like the bells and whistles on those things are getting better too.
Well, the picture, the picture and the contrast that it gives, everything is going to be better. Once you get to that size, you have to do things about the reflection and everything to make it better or as good as what they have today, because you've got a bigger surface area for reflection.
Right.
So anyway, it's supposed to be hot. I can't wait to see it. Hopefully they'll let us see it tomorrow.
Well, and folks, if you're interested in a big screen TV, I'm still loving my 85-inch. You got to go with Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. You can always go to thinkcohens.com or just call them at 277-8890. They're also, the best way to work with them is go by the Boulevard, 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. But, what I loved about my experience the most, Michael, was great product and great seeing you, but Michael Jacks and team, they set it up. They made that easy. I was a little anxious at first. How am I going to move this big thing? Y'all took care of it.
That's nice.
Well, and that to me is the most important part, because we go out on a lot of TVs, and they're TVs that we didn't sell, we didn't install, and you get there and the customer thinks he has high definition TVs, but it's hooked up wrong, and he's not getting high def, or either the cable guy left the cable box in the wrong setting. And Michael Jacks knows how to get in there, and he knows how to check everything and make sure that it is going to give you the best performance. But then most importantly, he also knows how to make it as third grade level as possible, so you don't have to have a master's degree to operate your television. We want to make it simple, where it's an enjoyment instead of a job.
We all check out Cohen's today. Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. And again, 277-8890 or stop by the Eastern Bypass. Y'all are open till 6 today?
Yeah, 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. You know, we just want to help you.
Well, I appreciate the time as always, Michael. We'll talk again soon.
Take care. Thank you.
272-9228 for the top hour break. And folks, coming up, we have Ryan Binkley. He is a presidential candidate, a Republican presidential candidate.
All right.
He is trying to get $1 donations and signatures. He's right at the threshold there to get on the Republican debate stage.
Oh, okay.
So he'll be joining the show over the phone here in just a moment. So y'all stay tuned. You're going to want to listen to this guy. If you like him, support him in just a small way so he can get over that hump to make the first debate. But before we hit the top hour break, let's go to Sweet D. Hey, D.
This is not Sweet D. This is Blacktop. I've been trying to paint my car, and y'all been having me on hold. I'm mad as hell.
Blacktop, huh? That's awesome.
You guys are so funny. Anyway, I was just calling about when Mayor Reed was on. I was out here watching the international news and flipping through the channels. I go, is that Obama? He looked so presidential. Did you see his office?
No.
Oh, my God. He was on CNN, and it was just like, is this guy running for president? It was weird.
I do think he's running for something greater than mayor of Montgomery, and if that's the case, let's help him on out.
Well, and on credit where it's due, the man does have style. I'll give him that.
Look good in front of the camera. Unlike you and me.
Hey, don't start with me today. Blacktop told me on the comments I actually kind of look Asian.
Really?
Yeah, I took it as a compliment.
That's the only way to take that.
Yeah, it is, because I like those Asian guys.
All right.
Asian persuasion.
You hurry back to Montgomery, do you, right?
No way. Did you see my other comment about my reparations?
Oh, yeah, that's right. So you're getting a new driver's license so you can be a resident so you can get the money.
That's right.
Oh, cash in, baby.
I can't
So
believe
please
that.
don't hate me because I'm getting rich out here. But anyways, good talking to you guys. And what's up, Red Top? He can come out here and get settled down, like on every corner.
Oh,
all right.
I bet so, yeah.
All right, well, love you guys.
Love you
Glad
too.
you're back, Eddie.
Thank you, Sweet D. See you, hon.
Or the new name is Blacktop.
Blacktop, yes, Blacktop.
This entire hour has been brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and her team, well, they can help you whether you're looking to buy a home as a first-time home buyer.
That's right.
Or it could be you've done this before, but you want to work with folks you actually can trust.
And local folks, Joey.
They're local. They're great. You can actually get to know them.
Yes.
They'll get to know you. And it's more than just, the mortgage. Like, you actually get to know people through this process. And they're going to give you the best, most competitive deal possible, whether you're looking to buy or if you're looking to refinance.
Right. A lot of people are looking into refinancing.
What do you usually, can you refinance up to 70, 80%?
Yeah, on a normal house, normal conventional loan type deal, you're 70, 80%. But with a VA, they got a deal where you can do 100.
And they are VA home loan specialists there at Alabama Home Mortgage. So check them out today. You can always call Kim and her team at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. A great, local, trusted mortgage company. There is a difference in mortgage companies, folks. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 158636, an equal housing lender. When we come back, Ryan Binkley, presidential candidate, trying to go for the Republican nomination. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. The wildfires in Hawaii have not all been extinguished. The death toll at 96, thousands are missing. A pilot and crew member escaped serious injury when they ejected from a vintage jet and crashed during a Michigan air show on Sunday. The Wayne County Airport Authority says the MiG-23 plane crashed during the Thunder over Michigan air show. A panel of federal judges has begun to review Alabama's redrawn congressional map, which opponents argue blatantly defies the court's mandate to create a second district, where black voters have an opportunity to influence the outcome of an election. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 43 points, but the Nasdaq is ahead 93. This is SRN News.
The recent bank failures are serving as a warning about how fragile our banking system really is. As millions of Americans panic, do you know what central banks are doing? Well, they're actually buying up gold at record levels. They're relying on it as a safe haven during these difficult times. That's how confident they are in the dollar. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnow, Christian author and evangelical leader to millions of people just like you. We're all Americans who want to protect our family's savings no matter what. I tell people the best option is to diversify their 401k or IRA into physical gold or silver with the help of Birch Gold Group. To see how it works, just text the word FAITH to the number 989898 to get a free information kit on gold IRAs. Look, there's no strings attached. It's not going to hurt you to take action now. So take the first step today and educate yourself. Get your free info kit when you text FAITH to 989898 right now. And I pray you and your family are greatly blessed.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, the best quality building materials in the river region for decades. From common builds to special orders and local delivery. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. The intense, excessive summertime heat continues for now with more dangerous heat indices. Today's actual high will be near 100, and the heat index may be as high as 114, with spotty, random hit-or-miss storms, especially in the afternoon and evening hours. Low tonight in the upper 70s. Tomorrow, high temperature up to at least 96. The heat index into the 105 danger range or higher. More scattered random storms, but by the middle of the week, temperatures a little bit more reasonable. Low to mid-90s on Wednesday with lower humidity. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contract. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. We got Eddie Bader in the house.
How you doing, Joey?
Doing all right. And without further ado, folks, we have a gentleman here who is running for president Ryan Binkley is on the line, running for the Republican nomination to be the next president of the United States. Ryan, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on the program. And so here's how I want to kind of set up before you start telling folks your vision for the country and why you're running. You are right on the threshold of the amount, I believe, of individual donors, and there are a few other qualifications to get in on the first Republican debate. What are you trying to get over the hump with here? What do folks need to do?
Right. So we need 40,000 donors, I think, from a week from today. And we need to keep doing what we're doing. We've been, it's amazing. We had 20,000 donors just last week. So we've had a lot of momentum shifts happen. It took us 2 months to get 2,000, and so it's been climbing fast. So we've been averaging about 2,500, 3,000 a day. So if we keep doing that, we should be there on the donor perspective. And then we need 1% in polling. And so we got there in one poll. I think some polls are coming out this week, and we're praying we hit the numbers and see everybody there at the first debate.
So, folks, if you like what you're about to hear, if you like the vision Ryan lays out, you need to go to, Binkley2024.com and donate. You can do just $1 too to just say, hey, I want to see this guy on the debate stage.
That's correct. It truly is a unique vision for our country, and I appreciate every bit of help we can get.
But here's my first question I usually start with. We had a long wind-up here. And I asked this of mayoral candidates, city council, United States Senate, Congress, and even the presidency. Ryan, why do this to yourself?
It is worth it for the next generation. I've got 5 kids, ages 13 to 23, and, our country is so broken economically, culturally. We've never been more divided than we are right now in my lifetime, and that has a consequence. Legislation that doesn't work for the average American. Right now, economically, the average household is spending $700 more a month than they were 2 years ago, just in expenses. And so we've got a government that's out of hand, that doesn't know how to legislate, doesn't know how to lead financially. And I really see this. Do you remember that book, The Tipping Point, by Malcolm Gladwell years ago?
Sure.
I feel like our country is getting close to a tipping point financially. And with the debt we have and what's coming, we're probably the next 8 years, we're going to be $50 trillion in debt. And that would be about 14% of our budget being paid on interest payments that we don't have. And we have to roll printing presses to make these payments. And so we're about to, hit an inflection point where we start going expansionary inflation all the more, or the banks keep doing what they're doing, and that's going to put the central banks doing what they're doing by raising interest rates, and that's going to put pressure on small regional banks. That's my background as a CEO in investment banking, and I see it. I see trouble ahead. So I'm telling America, listen, we're going to have to do for the first time in 30 years, let's make some hard decisions, but smart decisions for the next generation. Because if we don't, we're probably going to be known as the generation. I'm 55. 40 years, 50 years from now, we'll be known as the generation that prospered so much. I mean, think of all the money we've had in the last 2 decades in our country, but we couldn't even balance the budget. And I think we'll be known as the generation that sacrificed the least. And I'm not going to allow that to happen.
Well, and I fully agree with you on this debt that's staring us in the face. I think not only is it a moral abomination, like to throw this amount of debt and obligations on people not even born yet. It just seems a bit irresponsible on a moral level. But it's now the argument I've been making is, okay, there have been conservatives and libertarians like myself that have long been hawks when it comes to the national debt. But it's now for the average person, and a big part of your campaign is these bipartisan solutions. This is just a practical matter, right?
It is. It's no longer a Republican issue. I mean, Republicans used to be fiscal conservatives. Oh, my goodness, we have done just as much damage as anybody else in the last 20 years. President Trump, I love many things he did, and I want to make sure I'm clear on that. He did some good things. But, being a fiscal conservative was not one of them. I mean, we went $7.5 trillion in debt underneath his leadership, and granted, a lot of that was due to COVID, but it happened before COVID as well. So it's just not part of his platform. And so we've got to get back to this because this is hitting us all. I mean, this is hitting everybody. And so the only way to do it is to put together a balanced budget. We just launched a 7-year economic rescue plan that I'm saying this rescues us from inflation and rescues the U.S. dollar. We don't talk about this much because a lot of average voters don't know the role of the dollar and the world's reserve currency. But if that loses its foothold and it's cracking now, that could hurt us even more in the next 5 and 10 years. And then, of course, rescue Social Security. We have some things in place that are set to be broken. As I said earlier, I'm 55, and in 10 years, when I can take Social Security, there's going to be about 78 cents on the dollar available to me and everybody else my age. So we've got to fix it.
Well, you're right over the target with me. I've been saying that the issue of what is money and who controls it is going to come back with, like it was William Jennings Bryan in the late 1800s. Like, I think that issue is becoming a huge political one right around the horizon. And you're right about world reserve status. I don't think Americans understand the shot in the arm that is and has been for a long time. Where do you see this going in terms of, you have things like developing like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency services, and then at the same time you're seeing the BRICS nations and many others beyond the usual BRICS nations talk about an alternative to the U.S. dollar. I mean, is it just, are we still in a position where if we make the right choices, we won't be unseated?
Well, I think that's part of the solution. We have to get back to the basics. So let's think of why cryptocurrency is taking off. I mean, the reason it's taking off is because they no longer believe, everybody that's a crypto fan that I know and talk to, they no longer believe that the U.S. government is a good steward of the U.S. dollar.
Right.
So they see us printing money just like crazy. So let's just go back, 100 years ago. A U.S. gold coin, that would buy a men's suit, 100 years ago, and it's worth, $20, whatever it was, something like that. That 1 ounce coin would still buy a suit today, but it's $1,900. So we have had this inflationary concept. Our dollar is a fiat currency. It's like monopoly money. We keep printing so much of it that it becomes worthless over time. So we've got to get back to just good stewardship. If we do, the demand for crypto would not be near as high as it is today. And so people want to trust. Back 30 years ago, I'm a finance major and as well as MBA, but portfolio theory 30 years ago, U.S. Treasuries used to be a part of portfolio theory, but we've had 0% interest rates in Treasuries for 20 years. And so now all our banks, they're facing so much pressure because their assets are held with all these Treasuries. So as the Fed raises the rates, you're going to start seeing more collapsing in banks the way we saw earlier this year, just pressure on them. And so the country's in trouble because if we keep doing inflation, if we keep spending what we're going to do, the Fed, they'll keep raising rates. And when they do, we could enter some very difficult moments because when that happens, businesses don't grow. They don't buy businesses. People can't buy farm equipment. They can't buy cars, anything with interest payments. And so we could enter in a stagflation moment, and I want to rescue us from that.
Amen. Again, folks, we're talking to Ryan Binkley. He's a candidate for president of the United States, looking to make the Republican debate stage. Needs those 40,000 unique donors from at least 20 different states. I believe that's right. And so if you like what you're hearing so far, just go to Binkley2024.com and donate. Even $1 works, but of course you can always donate more, folks. And Ryan, one thing I've noticed is, and especially as a young guy, and we talk about it often on the shows, I'll be 35 in December, and I am definitely of that older millennial generation that does not have trust in our major institutions. I can be hypercritical of them, in fact, but I think I'm being fair in that you look across the board, there is a complete lack of trust. I think the only thing above water are small businesses and the military, and not say the Pentagon bureaucracy, but I think folks are thinking of the family members and friends in uniform. How do we make sure we actually come together as a country? Because, I mean, for a while there, it was a Twitter hashtag of national divorce. Is the way we unite America, again, practical solutions, but also is there a, say, God element, a God thing to this?
I think it's both. It's going to take God to do it. So I'm a pastor also of a church. We've been doing, really bivocational both, ministry and business. It's just been a part of my life since my wife and I got married. And I think we need God in our country. I think everybody knows that. Everybody I've talked to is like, yes, we need the Lord. But at the end of the day, too, we've got to start making smart decisions that impact everybody. So I have a message to unify our country. But a lot of people ask me, Ryan, how are you going to do that? Biden said he was going to do that, but he's not giving us one thing to unify on. And I would be the same kind of leader if I didn't give us something to say, hey, listen, what can we focus on together? So I picked a couple areas. The budget's one. We talked about that a little bit. And we can go into detail later on that, maybe at another time. But healthcare is another one that's hitting Democrats and Republicans. We have 40% higher inflation in healthcare. And I actually want to demonopolize healthcare, insurance agencies. I'm going to take a business person's approach to healthcare. We have big pharma. We have monopolies in big pharma, the pharmaceutical drugs. We get patent extensions 15, 20 years longer than Europe. And then we wonder why our drugs are so expensive. We're actually subsidizing the world in pharmaceutical drugs. We can't keep doing this. But this is not a Republican or Democratic issue. This is an American issue. So I'm picking some things like that, as well as, I want to do job training for the poor. The Republicans lost 46 of the top 50 cities in America by population last election. I mean, we do not have a message for urban America. So one thing I want to do to help unify our country is, listen, whether you're Republican or Democrat, can we all agree that the poor need better job training and we can get back to vocational trades again? Not everybody's going to go to college, but we can teach young people, hey, you could be an electrician, a plumber, make 60, 80 grand a year. You could be a craftsman. There's some things that we can get people involved in, and I really have a heart for that, because it's time to put America back to work again, but give them some passion moment where they can love what they do and make a living at it.
Well, I love what I'm hearing, Ryan, and you're bringing up, let me put it this way. We've gotten used to saying on this show, post-persuasion America, where it seems like everybody's in their camp and the politicians usually just stoking their base, not trying to convince anybody of anything. You're the first person in a while, at least on a federal sense, that has sat down and started talking issues. You got me wanting to ask about the dual mandate of the Fed and how can we remove more supply-side restrictions from, say, the healthcare market. One that I know you also just came out with a plan, love to hear a few details, is on immigration. How can we make the solution to immigration? I think it's a problem's been staring us in the face for 30 years. What sort of ways can that be done that are actually bring people together?
Well, first of all, we have to recognize this. There is no way a Republican solve this issue by themselves. The minority party, unless we've got 2/3 of the House and the Senate, there's no way it's going to happen. So, in which we haven't ever had in my lifetime, I don't think. So we've got to lead this in a bipartisan fashion. You've got very passionate and strong feelings from Americans on both sides of this issue. One, Democrats kind of want a plan for immigrants. They want some sort of pathway to citizenship. If you talk to them, that's what they want. Republicans, they want a secure border. I'm saying, listen, there's some combination in here that we can get and solve this problem, because in the meantime, while we argue, 300 people are dying a day of fentanyl that's coming in through the southern border, and we're not doing anything about it. I've been telling the Iowans, I'm like, how many people have to die a day before we decide to get together and talk? Is it 500? Is it 1,000? Just tell me the number, and then we'll actually have a conversation together. So it's way past the number. And so we've got to stop it. And I'm recommending the Dignity Act. This is actually Republican-led. Maria Salazar, Republican from Florida, put together this act that actually secures the border with, I would say this, wall, barrier, towers, technology, and people. About a $30 billion project that's actually has a funding mechanism, which Trump didn't have. That's one tough thing he had. He had a good idea, but he didn't have any money.
Right.
And so this actually has a mechanism of money, but it's paid for by penalties, fines, and taxes from the immigrants. They're going to be able to come out of the shadows and actually be able to work here legally. There's 20 million people here. A lot of my counterparts are, Ryan, I'm going to roll the military up on the border and we're going to kick everybody out. I'm like, that is just trying to, thread red meat to the Republican Party. That's not a real solution, because it's short term. I mean, as soon as a Democrat comes in there, that'll be done in a day. So I want to have a 50-year solution to this, and it's time. And I really support that. So we're calling our act the Security and Dignity Act. It's very similar to the Dignity Act of Ms. Salazar, Congresswoman Salazar, and it's about securing the border and then worker registration. It ends sanctuary cities. It ends catch and release. It requires E-Verify for every business. So you can't hide. There's nowhere to hide. And so it allows, though, dignity for people that have been here the longest. Some people came over here when they were 2 and 3 years old, 30 years ago. I've got a friend of mine who came over here when he was 5, seeking asylum. He's 35 now. His parents got citizenship, but he got married when he was 19, and he's still not a citizen. And so it's like a broken system. It's just crazy. And we've got to put some effort to it. And when we do, I pastor a multicultural church. I'm telling the Republican Party, they will vote for us if we just show we care. Don't be afraid of their vote. Most immigrants that are here legally, and some that have come across the board that own businesses now, they're pro-life, they're pro-family, they're pro-work. They'll vote Republican if we just show we care.
Well, again, folks, we've been talking to Ryan Binkley, and Ryan, I just have to say, again, I appreciate you actually talking policy. I appreciate your pragmatic and positive approach, and if folks like what they're hearing, how can they donate to your campaign so they can see you on the first Republican debate stage?
Well, a couple ways. First of all, if a polling company calls you, just go ahead and say right. That's important too.
There you go.
And then go to Binkley2024.com, hit donate on there. Any amount will do, and that'll help us so much. And share the word. This is a different message. I am coming across as a different candidate, and I'm not politics as usual at all. And so if you want to see something different, if you want to see our country come together, then share it with some friends. Text a few friends as well. This is how our moment is going to happen. I'm not a billionaire, and I'm not a lifelong politician, so we've got to get this name out, grassroots, and this message out that way.
Well, I appreciate your time today, sir, and best of luck. Honestly, after doing my research on you last night and talking to you today, I would love to see you on that debate stage. So best of luck.
Thank you so much. And I would love to come back with you guys, and let's visit some more. Take care.
Thank you, Ryan. Again, folks, Ryan Binkley. Again, you can go to, Binkley2024.com. And, well, I think it's interesting. You often forget, like you get so used to the faces you see every day in the news cycle, Eddie,
Right.
that you forget that actually America does have a lot of leadership ability.
Sure we do.
Like the amount of people in this country who really can do. I think we are so used to the usual gang who can't shoot straight, the usual corrupt cabal up there in D.C., that you forget there are a lot of folks, especially that guy. I think he's in now.
Just can't get the morons out of the way, Joe.
He started in medical device sales, and now he started his own merger and acquisition company. And
right,
he's his own the pastor of a church. Like, you sometimes forget how many great, capable leaders we have in this country.
We just can't get the morons to get out of the way so we can put the leadership back where it needs to be.
Though at the end of the day, and I just didn't want to go there with Ryan, but who's going to beat Trump?
I think he's beatable.
You think Trump's beatable?
Yeah.
By Biden or something?
Oh, no. No.
Who do you think can beat Trump?
Ramaswamy.
Vivek.
I've had some time to think, Joey.
Ramaswamy. Like, you've come around to Ramaswamy.
I watched a lot of his stuff while I was gone. Maybe it was a beach, maybe it was a red stripe. But yeah, dude, he's got some.
See, but there are a lot of people we know, like Jeff Deist, like Craig Munger. There are a lot of folks who I trust whose instincts are like, I don't trust this guy.
So that's what bothers me. I'm like, what am I missing? What am I missing? He has great ideas. He's not afraid to talk about anything to anybody. I saw one of the interviews with someone who identifies as a pansexual. Those two converse for a while.
Pansexual?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
It means you're not attractive. I can tell you that much because that person was not attractive. But they were able to converse. She was, whatever she or he was, she was able to tell him what she thought. He was able to converse back with this person. They were able to have a civil conversation. Mm-hmm. No one got their feelings hurt. They shook hands in the end and said, I would be glad to have this conversation with you. I don't know very many, if any, politicians that could have that conversation with someone like that. That would not come in hot just because they feel like they needed to. Or that person that's having that conversation on the other end wouldn't feel like they would need to come in hot just to get their point across. It was great to see two people on completely opposite sides of a spectrum communicate.
Okay, so I looked up as you were going on, which was a good spiel, by the way. You seem rested. Sun-kissed and relaxed. But I looked up the term pansexual.
Yeah.
Pansexual. Sexually or romantically attracted to people regardless of their sex or gender. Wait, that just sounds like a new fancy name for bi. And nobody likes those folks, except everybody. I don't know. Don't you love that when they said Kirsten Sinema of Arizona is the first openly bisexual member of the United States Senate? Emphasis on openly.
Right.
So maybe actually she's not bi, she's pansexual. I wonder how many of our congressmen and senators are pansexual.
There's so many of these new words that come up like this. I don't know what most of them mean. I think most of them are kind of born daily. And instead of admitting that you didn't know what you were talking about, you just act like you created a new word.
Well, on the Vivek thing, there are some folks saying that Vivek's the Republican version of Pete Buttigieg.
No,
Buttigieg.
I don't see that at all. Don't see that.
Yeah, I don't see that whatsoever.
I see him running for VP. I mean, no, don't get me wrong. I don't think he, in his mind, thinks he can actually be president on the first go-round. However, I do see him running for a good VP spot. Pulling like a David Spade kind of action in Coneheads.
Oh. And did you hear last week Trump talking about Vivek Ramaswamy?
I did. In fact,
And
we were on the beach when
he throws like a thing in there. Remy Shrimmy.
Remy Shrimmy. I like that Vivek guy. You know, but he's a vegetarian. He's Hindu, folks. I don't know if you can trust him.
And I haven't heard, now maybe I've been on vacation, what's up with the RFK guy?
Oh, RFK's still blowing and going.
Okay. Just hadn't heard or seen anything.
So a lot of big issues facing this country. I do appreciate Ryan Binkley for being policy oriented. It's going to take folks like that to actually make things work out for the better.
Yep.
Now, fight like hell. Fight for what you believe in, folks, but don't destroy the land just so you can rule it either. Like, nobody wants to be king of the ashes after they burn it down. Well, I guess a few people do.
I'm sure
and they should
always
never
a few.
be anywhere near power.
You saw Mad Max. You know how that works.
This part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting, and Todd Clark and his team there. Well, they're a premier roofing contractor here in the River Region. They've been helping so many of our listeners. We've lost count. They've helped Eddie out.
They've helped me out. They've helped Jack out.
Yeah, you had a metal roof.
I had a metal roof. They actually came to that, what they called a free inspection. And you know how much it was, Joey? Free.
Wow.
They actually did the work, gave me an estimate. And what impressed me, a couple of things. The big thing was, at the end, when he gave me the bill, I really did expect it to be a little bit higher.
Mm-hmm.
It was the same as the estimate.
Right on the money.
Right on the money.
There it is, folks. Again, whether it's an asphalt or a metal roof, their inspections and estimates are always free there at River Region Contracting, and they're a team of insurance specialists, so they can walk you through that claims process, make it a swift and easy experience, which is not a usual thing with insurance claims. So check out River Region Contracting today, 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell Todd Clark and the team there that, well, Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the Afternoon sent you more news and views after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
1819 News.
Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth is not mincing his words when it comes to the director of the Alabama Department of Transportation, John Cooper. Ainsworth spoke recently on the 1819 News podcast with CEO Brian Dawson. Ainsworth says there's been plenty of examples in the past when he was a state lawmaker that indicate that Cooper is a bully from his position within ALDOT.
You know, I led the charge, paid with my own money to get a video made to defeat the gas tax. You know, Senator Phil Williams was part of that. Bill Holtzclaw was one of the ones. And so we came out, you know, a whole group of us, right? But I mean, we smashed it. We beat the gas tax against some pretty powerful groups, right? And, you know, John Cooper's retaliation for that is Bill Holtzclaw put up a billboard in Huntsville. Guess what he did?
I'll be back with the rest of Ainsworth's comments after this.
Do you believe in the rights of parents to educate their children? If so, join 1819 News for an evening with author and political commentator James Lindsay on August 25th at Oak Mountain Brewing Company in Pelham, as he and other guests discuss how to stop the government's attempts to indoctrinate and control your children. Tickets are available for a limited time, so visit 1819news.com and click events. That's 1819news.com.
You know, John Cooper's retaliation for that is shut down the projects in Huntsville, right? And you think about the impact that had to what's going on today in Huntsville, right? The fact that we needed that expansion there, and he shut it down. And so, I mean, my point on John, you know, Cooper is he's a bully. I mean, he does not care about what's in the best interest of the state, and I think that's the wrong style. A government servant should be a servant.
I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
It's our biggest, fattest, zeroist event ever. Well, that's what it is. The Big Fat Zero event at the all-new Toyota of Montgomery. Buy a new Toyota with zero money down, 0% APR financing, zero payments till next year. What can be better?
Winning the lottery?
Sure, but then you'd have to pay a lot of taxes, pay your family, pay for a lawyer.
I prefer the Big Fat Zero.
Of course! Because when you buy a new Toyota from Toyota of Montgomery, you don't pay a penny down, a penny in interest, and not a penny till 2024. Get to the Big Fat Zero event and at Toyota of Montgomery. Online at toyotamontgomery.com.
$0 down on select new vehicles. 0% APR financing on select new 2023 vehicles with approved credit through dealer preferred lender with $100K financing limit. Maximum payment of $1,000 per month through 2024 plus tax, title, license, and $995 doc fee. May not be combined with some offers. Ends 8/31/2023.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon, and we have some exciting news to share with you. We've been serving the state of Alabama for many, many years, and now we are able and ready to offer the same great mortgage financing in Georgia and Florida as well.
Our company may be Alabama Home Mortgage, but now we can finance your Georgia home mortgage and your Florida home mortgage too. We couldn't be more excited to extend our customer base to our neighboring states. For years, we have had customers call us in hopes we could assist them with purchasing their vacation cabin in North Georgia or their dream home in Florida. And now we can. For those of you who have family and friends that live in Florida and Georgia, be sure to tell them the good news.
Whether you are looking to purchase or refinance a home located in Alabama, Georgia, or Florida, you owe it to yourself to give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time.
It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
He's everywhere! He's everywhere! I'm David Ernest, and I approve this message. Join Blue Water Broadcasting and the folks from the Health and Wealth Show as we help the Cancer Wellness Foundation provide comfort and care to cancer patients in the River region. Tuesday, August 15th from 11:30 until 12:30. Ernest Financial will be at Mr. Gus's, 6268 Atlanta Highway in Montgomery. We invite you to come by and drop off items that will go into chemo comfort bags. Items include socks, blankets, pillboxes, thermometers, travel-sized tissues, lotions and hand sanitizers, lip balm, sugar-free hard candy, and crossword puzzle books and pens. Your donations will be delivered to the Cancer Wellness Center of Central Alabama for distribution. Don't miss your chance to help out. Tuesday, August 15th from 11:30 until 12:30 at Mr. Gus's on Atlanta Highway with Ernest Financial and Blue Water Broadcasting. Oh, boy, is this great!
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the house with me. How you doing, Eddie?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Joe?
How about a little bit of a palate cleanser? In a second, we're going to do it's trending on 1819news.com, right up from Will Blakely. And the story is the top 10 concerts coming to Alabama this fall.
Leonard Skinner, number one.
What is wrong with you?
What?
Did you hit your head in
Did you
Jamaica?
not think Leonard Skinner is the number one concert coming to Alabama this year?
I don't know. I haven't read the list yet.
Guaranteed.
No, why are you you're coming out of the gate hot here? This is supposed to be a palate cleanser, not another reason for us to fight.
Alabama, number one band, country, Alabama music, Leonard Skinner. Freebird!
I know you are one of these people. But here, let's talk about something we can agree on.
All right.
Isn't Ashley at Pest Pro Services fantastic?
Oh, I absolutely adore her.
Isn't the entire team there at Pest Pro Services
I have
fantastic?
not met one person there that I dislike, Joey.
Really?
And I dislike a lot of people.
I know you do. Likewise, but I haven't met anybody over there I dislike. In fact, I like them very much.
No, I use them all from my personal services, but of course my real estate services as well. They treat my customers like they are the VIPs they are. Just never had any issues. In fact, I've gotten more education from those people, educating me on things like termites, also flying ants that I thought were termites one time, but also on just general pest control, things to keep, I guess you'd say, away from your house to keep from inviting pets in.
Mm-hmm.
These are great folks, man.
They really are great people. So whether it's an emergency,
they're good for that.
like termites, or
they are good for that.
The one that keeps coming to my mind is a wasp nest in the attic, because I had that issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was years ago. Remember the house I lived in Cloverdale?
Yeah, I really think
It
half
was,
your attic was that wasp nest, to be honest.
Yes. No, every day, folks, I would come home and I have to kill a few cockroaches, most of the time a wasp or two, and occasionally a yellow jacket.
Yeah.
And it's like, why am I living this way?
Because you did not have Pest Pro services.
Right. That's why. So Pest Pro Services can help you out if you do have an emergency, or if you just need an everyday company like I needed back then. So call them today at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. You can also go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro, Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Eddie from News and Views sent you. So, we do have this new concert series coming up. Now, it's not like an official concert series. It's all branded and packaged together, folks. But these are the top 10 concerts coming to Alabama this fall. Will Blakely of 1819 News wrote this up. He's a good fella.
Okay.
Good Southern gentleman, if you will.
I understand.
So let's go through these a little bit, shall we, Eddie?
Let's do it.
So, number one.
That's a pleasant surprise.
James Taylor. He's coming to Huntsville. Yeah. I wonder how many of these are going to be Hunts Vegas.
Man, I hate that. I love James Taylor. I'd love to go see it.
At the Orion Amphitheater. That's, the day of the Montgomery municipal election, August 22nd.
Be busy that day, Joey.
And I wonder how you can even get tickets for that still. But Jason Aldean.
Oh, I bet. But he's going to have a sold-out show.
Now, to be honest, I can't stand modern country. Classic country's fine. But, the Jason Aldean song, Small Town, I know people liked it. It wasn't much for me. But that Richmond over north of Richmond, I brought it up on Friday. I'm way ahead of y'all. I said that song will live in symbolic significance to its own time.
I brought it up 2.5 weeks ago.
You did?
Yes. Not to you, though. Yeah, but
wait, I thought he had just shared it.
No, he's been on TikTok probably about a month or so, just on fire.
Anyway.
And that raw voice he's got, amazing.
Anyway, that song's a lot better than Try That in a Small Town. But if you 100%. Each to their own. If you like Jason Aldean, he'll be in Orange Beach. At the Wharf Amphitheater. My dad helped build that.
I bet they're going to sell that out, too.
26th. Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. Now, this has my attention. What, you don't like to get the lead out?
I seen the real Led Zeppelin. I don't need to see the fake Led Zeppelin.
What is wrong with you? All right. I've seen Jason Bonham actually here at the Montgomery Amphitheater. He was the drummer when Foreigner came through, and they went into Jukebox Hero.
Great song.
Jukebox Hero. But then it broke down the song in the middle.
Yeah.
Before the final verse and guitar solo, and went into Moby Dick, and this long the Led Zeppelin song. You know that one, right?
Yeah, but.
No, and it became this whole Zeppelin medley, and then they finished with the rest of Jukebox Hero. It was
That's what's weird. They broke out.
It was like a 10, 20-minute thing. No, Zeppelin used to do that all the time. They'd start a song, do 3 or 4 songs, and then finish it. Yeah, but it was amazing. So if Jason Bonham is coming into the area,
Nicky Sticks.
Got to check that guy out. That's going to be in Mobile on September the 1st.
Mobile.
Oh, no, Nickelback. Let's just skip that one.
Come on. Where are they going, Joey?
Oak Mountain Amphitheater. I thought they shut that down.
No way, man. One last time with Nickelback.
Thomas Rhett. Anybody know Thomas Rhett? I'm sure there's some ladies out there who know Thomas Rhett. Look at that bearded fella, that handsome fella there. He's going to be performing at the BJCC Arena.
Okay.
And the Beach Boys. They're coming to Birmingham in October. Zach Bryan. He's going to be at the Auburn Rodeo. Oh, no. Unless you're 18, 19, well, you're not supposed to be drinking. Unless you're a young kid.
Right.
Do not go to the rodeo.
Is that right,
The Auburn Rodeo, no. This is
It's
not a
for
good
older
time.
people?
No, this
Maybe people my age shouldn't go.
Maybe you should go and get all sunburned.
No, I'm down with that.
Act a fool there. Willie Nelson. He's going to be at the Outlaw Music Festival in Orange Beach. Travis Tritt will be in Birmingham in November. The Marcus King Band.
That guy's great. Another one that just got a on-fire voice. I'll send you some of his music. Absolutely amazing.
And I'm noticing this is all more like country and pop stuff. What about all the soul artists, all the R&B artists? What's that?
What are you looking for? Luke Skywalker?
Luke Skywalker.
2 Live Crew?
Let's go to Duke. Hey, Duke. How you doing?
I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to hit a loop, but I almost messed up and said what Luke said. But,
right.
Right. I better leave it alone.
Ooh, and Mark Cumbie just said Black Jacket Symphony's doing Queen Greatest Hits.
And Susanna's seen them do several things. Yeah. Very impressive.
No, I wasn't impressed with the Purple Rain one.
Well,
of course you
Mr. Eddie, did you bring me back a couple of folding chairs?
I did not. I left the folding chairs on the beach there in Jamaica. Most people over there didn't really understand what this was all about. But they had their thoughts. Let me tell you, they had some thoughts.
Oh, you talking about that picture of me?
I'm talking about the whole incident.
Or the incident?
Yeah, riverboat deal.
Oh, really?
Made it over there,
people
man.
were asking
people,
about it.
People, you brought it up. People would talk about it. Me and Mark.
Oh man, people been having a lot of fun off of that one, man. It's been crazy on TikTok.
It's just crazy. Like Joey said earlier, though, all the reenactments. I bet I've seen 10 different reenactments, man.
Oh man, that's all right though. So man, so you enjoy yourself?
Man? Amazing. Yeah, I'm just in my post-vacation depression.
What did you send me a picture of? What was that thing, man? That purple looking, it looked like a big round table looking thing.
Let me go back and look. I don't remember, dude. There's no telling. I had a few drinks while I was over there.
Oh.
So I might have sent. Oh, that was the hot tub, Duke. Okay. Okay, you see the purple hot tub? Joey, you see the picture there? Purple hot tub. That was this hot tub that was kind of right out of our room there.
What are you showing me? That looks like a sex thing. What are you showing me that for?
It's a hot tub, man.
Yeah, with a fluorescent in it. Don't be showing me your sex stuff. That's just gross, man.
It was just a great. It was a couples resort. It was a great place.
Leave that to you couples. You and your lavender lit water.
Eddie, reach over in that corner. He said you got a chair in that corner. Reach over in that corner and grab that chair now.
I think I'm going to have to bring my own chair.
Oh, okay. I know this voice.
It don't fold either. It's one of them steel chairs that just don't fold.
Well, and if we look on the screen, I actually found a story for you coming back, Eddie. Nudists are calling for a clothing ban on their beaches. It's making us uncomfortable. What did you do down at the nude beach in Jamaica? Did you go clothed?
I can honestly say I went by it one time. We went by a couple times in the boat, but it was on the other side of the resort. I met a couple people that were the nudies.
Yeah.
And
were they naked?
No, we were on a dive together, but they were. Well, they weren't nice people. I'll be honest.
They weren't?
I did not enjoy them at all.
Really?
Yeah.
They have fly trailer behind them.
No, he's from California, so that kind of got me a little bit there. But he's just a little bit arrogant of a guy. But lots of people love that place. I mean, they said they got that many.
So wasn't you that created this call for a law banning clothed people on nude beaches?
No, but what's funny that most of the Jamaicans that work there, we would always, giggle about the nude beach. They also agreed it's very hairy, very leathery.
Whoa.
Huh?
Yeah. It was not a job anybody applied for, put it that way.
Oh.
I just stick my head in the door for a sec.
Well, we got to run, Duke. We're way behind.
You made it back safe. All right. You're good.
But great hearing from you, man.
See you, brother.
Always good to have Eddie back on the show. I really did miss you.
I missed you too, man. We got to listen to you. I tried to do the call-in deal. We thought we had a great Wi-Fi signal.
Yeah.
Turns out you have a great Wi-Fi signal until you go to use it.
Well, and honestly, when you hopped on the Wi-Fi the one day, it just pissed me off.
Is that right?
Yes, all it did is because I could hear you, but I couldn't really hear. We couldn't have a conversation through that Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But I could clearly see the beach and the resort. So as I'm sitting here in Montgomery working my tail off, you're like, "Hey, Joey, this is a beach. Have you ever seen a beach?" It's like, yes, I have.
Well, the one thing I didn't get to talk about because we left after the Trump thing, we didn't get to go over our Trump stuff together. And I noticed I got to listen to your stories and your
recounts. What did you have to say?
You didn't mention those two hot cougars that were hitting on us about halfway through the event.
Oh, I forgot
right,
about
Joey,
that.
And they are listeners
well,
too, Joey.
Cougars, so many cougars on me. I just don't remember them all.
But yeah, those are listeners too. I hope they call in. But I had a good time at that event. Thanks for dragging me along. I had a really, really good time.
It was great taking you to.
Did
you like
fun.
seeing Trump in person?
It was. That was. I'd be a little silly, but I got a little emotional when he come out.
And we saw a lot of listeners there.
We
that
did.
Night.
We
a lot
did.
of folks. And then I ran into some folks. Well, I went to go grab us a couple beers.
Yeah.
And I walk up and just stand next to the folks who were one place ahead of me. And the guy looks over, and the wife, attractive wife, looks over and goes, "Hey, Joey." I'm like, I don't have any clue who these people are. I'm like, have we met? Oh, yeah, we've met. I'm like, oh, no.
That's what I mean.
Why don't I remember?
Half the people that ran into us came up and talked to us, which was great. I don't know. I'm glad it was Joey because I don't know who they were.
Yeah.
They were very nice. Everybody was very nice. So.
No, but we look great suited and booted.
Dude, I saw the picture of you, me, and Brian, and yeah.
That's a good looking
That
photo
really
right
was.
there.
That really was.
Like we don't normally look that good, folks. That's false advertising right there.
But it was really great because the next day I was literally at the beach with a pair of shorts on, and that's it. I felt much more comfortable.
Yeah, it was fun leaving you in the middle of I'm going down to hang out with Jack Campbell and a few other friends at the hotel bar. It's like Eddie's on his way to Jamaica. I'm going into the dark hours of the evening. Let's see what happens. Not much happened.
Yeah. Well, you guys, everybody that was there looked great, and it was great to see Jack in the Wild. I love seeing Jack in the Wild.
Well, we're running out of time here. So this part of the program brought to you by Bath Innovations of Alabama. And at Bath Innovations, they have so many different options for you if you're looking to remodel. It doesn't matter your price point, doesn't matter your budget. And really, when you start changing up, okay, here's the type of material I want to use. Here's the particular fixture or shower head I want to use. I need to install some safety bar railings. I want to replace the look of this sink. Like when you start getting into all the different options they have, really, the outcome is endless. It's all going to be unique to you, folks. And if you want to check out everything they have to offer at Bath Innovations, from aging in place safety products to install in your bathtub or shower, or maybe it's the ABS acrylic shower systems, they've got it all there at Bath Innovations. So check it out at bathinnovations.com. Or you can always call them at 271-2723. And then, of course, you're going to want to stop by the showroom, 2331 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. And be sure to tell Brad McDowell and the team that Joey and Eddie from News and Views sent you. Again, Bath Innovations of Alabama has options for you no matter your budget. Check them out today.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. Do you have a cell phone or tablet that isn't charging, dying fast, or maybe the screen is damaged? Don't get suckered into buying a new one. XI Repair can fix your current device same day and in under 30 minutes. Their certified technicians fix and recover data from thousands of cell phones, computers, tablets, game consoles, and drones 7 days a week. Give them a call today at 334-777-1234 or visit them online at xirepair.com.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Sam, and I am so excited to tell you the last car I bought, it came from Riverside Chevrolet. Now get a load of this. Not only do they have a friendly staff that will answer any question at Riverside, they also have a finance department second to none and a service department that's rated #1. Anything from pre-loved to brand spanking new, cars, trucks, vans, they have it all. And at Riverside Chevrolet, you get first-class service. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net or check them out on Facebook. Great reviews, you'll love it.
Hey, we're talking to Tammy. Tammy, why does everybody loves Mama's Produce? goodness, there's a whole lot of reasons to love Mama's Produce. Produce, we got ice cream. Man, have we got some fresh peas. We've got fresh limas. We've got watermelons, tomatoes. There's a whole lot of reasons to love Mama's.
And Tammy, I understand you got some fantastic watermelons.
Actually, right now I've got in some yellow meat, some sugar babies, some seedless, and I've got some Jubilees that just came in.
And of course, Tammy, you keep everybody up to date on your Facebook page.
We try to stay engaged on Facebook, and if I don't answer you on Facebook or Messenger, I'll sit down at the end of the day and go through them.
Tammy, that sounds good. Now tell us where you are.
We're at 1154 South Memorial Drive in Prattville. It's about a half a mile south of the Midtown McDonald's, attached to Prattville Farm Center and right across from Pig Enterprise. Yep, we close at 5:30 Monday through Friday and Saturday at 2. Everybody loves Mama's.
Hey guys, are you looking for a professional and reliable tree service company in the Montgomery and surrounding areas? Well, check out the folks at Tree Masters. It's a name you know and trust. From pruning to full tree removal, they'll even help you remove your shrubs. They service all of Central Alabama, including Lake Martin and Lake Jordan. Call them for a free quote today at 334-676-3638. That's 334-676-3638. Tree Masters.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Let's go right to the phones. This is actually David from Prattville Carpet.
I believe this is David from Prattville Carpet.
Hey, David, how you doing?
I'm doing good. You got the B team today. Sorry, Ray said he couldn't be bothered with you.
Well, like, Eddie didn't even recognize Ray in a suit, and Ray didn't recognize Eddie at the...
What, right by us?
Right.
Oh, yeah, the Trump route. I mean,
Yeah.
the Trump thing.
And I'm telling you, man, he cleans up pretty good.
Yeah, I have to say.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I missed like half your show today. How come I can't pick you up like past Verbena?
That's above my pay grade, but you can listen to us on the live stream if you got
That's
YouTube
right.
or Facebook.
I did that all the way from Jamaica.
I can't. Yeah, I guess I could log in on my phone and listen to it there that way.
It's a great way
but
to do
I don't
it.
know. I don't know how these aliens out in space are supposed to be listening to our radio waves, and I can't pick you up past Verbena.
Good point.
Well, at least you got to hear a good lion's share of the show, but how's it going at Prattville Carpet today?
Oh, it's going great. We're all just busy. Ray said, here, you do the ad. I'm working on this and that. I'm like, yeah, like I don't have 2 or 3 projects on my desk I'm trying to work on, but I'll absolutely do the ad because everybody needs to call us at 285-8117 to come do that free measurement. We'll bring you the samples to the house. Just tell us what you're looking for. If we don't bring exactly what you like, we got like thousands of other colors and samples here at the store. We can, look through every single one of them until we find the perfect one for you.
There you go.
There you go. And again, folks, that number 285-8117, and be sure to tell them when you call up 285-8117 that you heard, David from Prattville Carpet here on the airwaves.
That's right, guys. Yeah, y'all just give us a call. We got great specials going on. Got a couple of vinyl planks that are on sale that are just beautiful. My rep from Mohawk is here today showing us some of the new fall lineup coming out. It's going to be awesome.
Well, I appreciate the time, David, and, hopefully we'll talk again soon. Maybe Ray will just be busy for the rest of the week.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll see you at X-Side Repair if your grandfather's computer messes up again.
Good talking to you, David.
Thank you, David.
You too. Have a good one.
You too, buddy.
272-9228. Now we got a little bit of time here as we're coming to the close of the show. Let's go to Eddie.
Hey, Eddie.
Hey, man. I just wanted to call out and thank you for getting back with me on that river region contractor.
Of course.
The other day, I told you about my roof getting gone at the lake.
Oh, boy.
And but I appreciate that. And also, it was nice seeing you and Eddie both in the flesh up there at the fundraiser the other Friday night.
Yeah, we clean up all right.
We do all right, yeah.
Yeah. And I just hate I missed Jack. I was hoping to run into him, too, but I never did see him. So.
He was in the VIP section.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I think what happened is Trump was running late. So they had a lot of people corralled to take pictures, and it all got bottlenecked there. But
yeah. But anyhow, enjoying the show. I always do. And you two, y'all go together like peaches and cream. I'm going to tell you now.
That's our nickname,
I'm
actually.
Peaches.
Yeah, I don't mind being the cream. All right, Eddie.
All right,
Thanks,
later,
Eddie.
man.
And let's go to Roger. Hey, Roger.
Hey, Roger.
Eddie, you drink a red stripe and smoke a joint while you was down there?
I drank probably 40 or 50 red stripes. On the joint stuff at that resort, not so much, didn't really see that there at all, which was kind of, honestly, at most Jamaican resorts I've been to, you can smell pot. It smells like downtown Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
But at this one, no.
No, you didn't see anything like that?
Nothing.
Oh, you just got a sample from everybody that offered to sell you some. You was sporting a quarter of a pound each.
Well, now that is one of the things. But honestly, something has changed in Jamaica. They've legalized it where they have dispensaries. And that has eliminated the small weed man that used to literally swim up from the beach every day and ask people if they wanted weed. I did not see him this time.
Did y'all talk about the best story of the week last week?
Which was?
Atmore, where he ran over the girl at the bar, and the patron beat him, life-flighted him, and he died. And you're thinking, man, that's pretty tough. Come to find out, he was the one that beat that girl to death, left her in the woods, should have still been in prison. Ain't karma a witch nowadays?
Wow.
Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
At least justice is served to some folks.
There you go.
Warm to the top of my heart.
I heard that.
Appreciate it, Roger.
Thank you, Roger.
272-9228. We're pretty much out of time, Eddie.
Yeah,
It's good to have you back, man.
It's good to be back, but I did find us a place we could do a show from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. And not even on the nudie side. We can do it on the regular side.
Good. I don't want to be naked.
Out of leather. On hair.
And it's like, no wonder y'all don't wear clothes.
I'm comfortable in just shorts. That's it.
Y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Craig B. Dowell. He's next.